J. Michael, fashion for everyone. Happy Monday, Sandy.
Hey, good morning, Blake and Aaron. How are you guys doing?
Good. What do you have for us this morning? A lot happened over the weekend.
While most of us were out and about enjoying Capella and Saturday night, there was a lone gunman who decided that he wanted to rob the Burger King in Red Bay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is wild because we were there earlier that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Picking up some lunch.
Mm-hmm. He went in. We just posted some footage this morning. So hopefully, all of our viewers can go online and have a look to see if maybe somebody can recognize him. But walked in with a gun, jumped over the counter and helped himself to one of the registers.
Wow.
What time was this at?
About 8:49 or so.
Early.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty crazy. So they closed the location. Of course, workers were, shaken up by the whole ordeal.
I would imagine.
And,
I saw there were some patrons in there too when he came through the door.
Yep. And of course, the gas station's right there. And at that time of night, the gas station is still relatively busy.
They were busy, yeah.
So pretty bold of whoever this criminal is.
Yeah,
we'll keep you guys updated.
It was just on foot.
I haven't heard any indications of if he was driving or how he arrived. So hopefully some of those details will be forthcoming.
Likely there's video footage of a car.
There'd be.
Yeah, I mean, the gas station should have good footage. I mean, that whole camera has tons of footage. So I feel like this guy is probably going to get caught relatively soon, but we'll keep you all updated.
Hope so.
So unfortunately, we had another road fatality this weekend. That's the second one in less than a week.
Yeah, what happened in that case?
Some details are still coming in, but this young lady, 22 years old, really beautiful young lady from Cayman Brack, she lost control of her vehicle and crashed into a wall. Someone actually saw the accident happen, and they made some observations about it, but obviously a full investigation now has to take place before we can say what occurred. But it's a single vehicle accident, and it looks like she just lost control of the vehicle somehow.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very, very sad. The community, I think we need to have some discussions about road safety in general, but for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Court news. A man got 4 years in prison for having possession of a imitation firearm.
Wow.
So Dalton Benjamin Robinson Jr., only 25 years old. He's got previous convictions already, so he's on a path of being a career criminal. Was sentenced by Justice Cheryl Richards on Friday to serve 4 years and 6 months in prison after he was found guilty of possession of an imitation firearm. So
4 years doesn't seem like much for something like that.
Yes, I mean, I would have.
Or a multiple offender.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like much.
Yeah.
Not really a deterrent there.
All right, Sandy, thanks for the headlines. We'll catch Sandy right now on Bobo 89.1 FM, and we'll see you tomorrow for our Tuesday headlines. All right.
Fantastic.
It's time to
bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's community radio. We are still spilling the tea and committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman, live, direct, it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
All right. Good morning, beautiful folks. How are you guys doing? Hope that everybody had a fabulous weekend. Yes, lots to talk about. We'll do Monday Rewind in just a second here. Tell you guys about what's going on. KK, we should be on. I'm hearing it on my end. Good morning to Felicia. Good morning to KK. Andy's here. Miss Ethel is in the house. We've got Miss Dean saying good morning to everyone and happy new month. Today is indeed May the 1st. So wowee, my goodness, this year is just flying by in proper fashion. I must tell you, thank you guys so much. It's a blessing to be able to get up and feel good and just be in good health and good spirits. And, we've got life. So we're going to all be very, very thankful this morning. We're going to have some hard conversations. We don't shy away from that. So yes, lots of prayers going out to people who are suffering from, just got a message that a friend is going into surgery this morning, some heart surgery. So we're going to be thinking about them. So, Cayman is a very small community, and we're always in the know when it comes to our loved ones who are going through some difficult times. So we're going to talk about some of that this morning as well. So good morning to the beautiful Gina. She says, good morning, everyone. Marissa is here. Hi, Marissa. Miss Debbie's in the house. We've got Marshall joining us, North Carolina. Miss Dorothy is also here. KK says the camera light is booming. Oh, I think I do need to adjust the camera angle just a little bit, just a tad that way. There we go. Yes, you guys know I got a new camera, and so I'm kind of still feeling it out a little bit, but so far the response has been pretty good. I think you guys like it. So yeah, we'll stick with it there, KK. Oh gosh, so much stuff happened over the weekend. All right, First Lady's here in the house. Thank you. She said, God shall give us the desires. She'll give us the desires of my heart this month. In the name of Jesus, amen. Well, sometimes he doesn't give you what you want. He gives you what you need. And sometimes what we need are some tough lessons and a bit of tough love. So we'll see. But yeah, stay positive and keep working on those goals. I think that that's a good thing. I'm on the cusp of one of my financial goals. You guys know that at my age, you got to really focus and focus quick. You have no time to dilly-dally. And so I'm on the cusp of achieving one, hopefully between this month and next month. So I'm going to really focus hard to get that done. Lizette is here. Beginning of Lupus Awareness Month and her birthday month, says Gina. Oh, thank you for that information. That's very good. I'm sure Health City will do during the month something on lupus. I'm sure of that. That's one of those things that you hear people who have it, but then sometimes you don't even know what that is. There's so many diseases and disorders and stuff out there that we could really learn about because it impacts people in our community. Olivia's here. Siobhan, good morning. Wee Wee's in the house. Vicky says, still have that Capella vibe in my body. And of course, Mother's Day is coming up this month as well. So yes, we'll be doing some fun stuff for Mother's Day. So Friday, I went to court. So we'll do, should I play the little Monday Rewind jingle? Yeah, why not? Why not?
Time for Monday Rewind. The Cold Hard Truth's Monday Rewind show recaps the weekend's news and events so you don't miss a beat.
Don't miss out.
All the weekend's source, news, gossip, and well, it wouldn't be a weekend recap show without traffic accidents too. Cayman Marl Road is Cayman's #1 news source and has the island's hottest morning talk show.
It's the hottest.
Make sure you don't miss a beat with Monday Rewind.
Rewind.
Tune in every Monday from 7:30 a.m. on both YouTube and Facebook.
Folks, someone said it's also Mental Health Awareness Month. So fantastic. We're going to have a lot to talk about this month for sure. Mother's Day. I have a calendar of all of the like awareness months and stuff. I need to try to find that and pull that up because that's like super, super helpful. But yes, every month there's something that we can definitely be focused on. So Lynette is in the house as well. We've got Ken says, hola, buenos dias, señora Sandy, desde Costa Rica. Buenos dias from Costa Rica. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, we're going to get started here. So over the weekend, we had Capella, which was Saturday. Unfortunately, we had a fatality. We're going to talk about both of those things here in just a second. We had, what else happened over the weekend? Oh my gosh, there was just so much. So Friday I had court. So I know you guys are curious about what happened with court. So let me just bring you up to speed on that one. So I went to court and my lawyer said that she finally received the indictment a week late, but better late than never. So she finally got the indictment and, you know, nothing changed from what we saw. And so it's all about this email that I sent to John Felder, really, in my opinion, at the instruction of the judge. Obviously, he didn't draft it for me and tell me how to draft it or whatever. But, you know, the judge at the time said, you guys should try to settle this. So this was my attempt at a settlement. And then almost 6 months after the email was sent to his attorneys, he then turns around and says that I was trying to bribe him. What is really most interesting about the whole nexus, the factual nexus, is that he obviously didn't think that I was trying to bribe him when he was initially received the email because there was no complaint made. And I bet you, you know, my lawyer is a smart cookie. So of course now she is going to have to get hands on his correspondence between him and his attorney. But I'm pretty sure at no point did he say to his attorney, oh, this woman is trying to bribe me. It was only after his attorneys informed him that I had lawyered up, finally. Big shout out to Kyle Broadhurst and the whole team over at Broadhurst Attorneys, and that they had actually made a fatal flaw in their case against me, and so they would be losing. I know that they informed him of that, and I'm sure that right after that, that's when he decided to call the police and claim that I tried to bribe him. This is someone who they can't get their way over here. They're going to try a backdoor entrance to try to get their way, right? So he lost his case. He didn't get the $105,000 that he thought he was going to get from me. He didn't get that, which, you know, he would have never gotten in his hands because he owes so many people money that they were all clamoring to try to get that money. I mean, literally within minutes of the judgment coming in, I had one of them contact me and said, oh, Miss Sandy, I just want to, out of respect, let you know that we're going to be putting a garnishee order on that judgment. And I said, go right ahead, honey child, because I have no intentions of paying it. You know, we will be appealing this. And they did their best. And I feel sad for this guy because this guy has, in good faith, given John Felder a business loan, which John Felder never paid back. And he's not the only person. So there's tons of people that John Felder left this jurisdiction owing money to, and including myself now, I can be added to the list. And it's fair to say that no one will see their money. You know, he's a geriatric con artist. Only God knows how long he'll be blessed with a life. And so he'll go to his grave owing people money. And he does not seem the least bit bothered at all. So my lawyer decided to go ahead and set a date for a dismissal hearing. So dismissal hearing is where they feel like the evidence is so weak that we don't even need to get to trial. So she's going to go ahead and try that route and see what happens. So I'll keep you guys updated. Morning to Debbie. Miss Stephanie's here. As you guys can see, I'm doing a little something here in the background. There we go. All right. So I'll keep you guys updated on how the dismissal hearing goes. It's scheduled for June the 2nd, I believe. Yes. So another month, basically. So hopefully, you know, we'll get it thrown out at that stage. I think the prosecution should really review the case if they had any sense, but hey, there's a lot that they do that makes no sense at all. So let's move on. KK says he's a worldwide crook and can't change that about bribing Kismati. Miss Lynette says, wow, he sure is a piece of work. Yes, I mean, it takes all kinds to make the world go round, unfortunately. And we seem to, here in the Cayman Islands, have a bit of a skill for attracting some very undesirable individuals. He happens to be one of them. We have enough of our own, but. All right. So let me just see now. All right. Okay. So let's get into the so I know why most of you are here this morning. So last week, I told you guys within 5 minutes, we were able to solve the mystery of the laptop thief, right? So this is a young lady who walked into office supply store, decided to help herself to a laptop, doesn't belong to her, stole the laptop, and yeah, just walked out with it, walked in, took it, and left. Really brave. The business owner sent us information. We tracked her down. And now she's all over social media. You guys are not even going to believe this. This is like, sometimes you have to really wonder if there's like a parallel universe where everybody has gone mad. And that's perhaps explains some of the nonsense that we have to encounter. Well, I am left shaking my head and wondering about this young lady. So she has decided that the way to highlight, I guess, what her issues are is to claim that she has reached out to CMR about being a victim of abuse, of domestic abuse, and we didn't help her. Now, before we get into the substance of that, tell me, what does that have to do with you being a laptop thief? What does that have to do with you being a thief at all? I am confused as to how that plays into any of this. It's our fault that you're out there stealing from businesses, and there's more than one, and we're going to talk about who else she's stealing from this morning. This is perplexing. I want to talk about it because this is very, very typical of people who have narcissistic tendencies, of people who don't think about others at all, and who never want to take any accountability for their behavior. I don't know who Brittany is, right? Since we featured her, a lot of you have had more than enough to say about Brittany. So much so that, quite interestingly enough, I'm going to tell y'all some of exactly what has come to me, but I didn't realize that people had been reaching out to me for months trying to tell me about this Brittany scammer girl. I had listen, I tell y'all, we get so many messages sometimes. Like, honestly, we now have some team members who are, who are going to assist us with breaking down really all the messages that we get and that sort of thing. So sometimes I don't even see messages. Now, when she would have been sending this, it would have been in all likelihood me that would have been responding to her, right? And so let me show y'all exactly what she sent, because I mean, you're going to find this, I think, interesting. Hold on now. She posted this message where she essentially said that she's the victim of abuse and that she had reached out to CMR and we didn't help her. Again, I don't know what that has to do with her being a thief, but if y'all can help me understand the correlation, then by all means, please do. So this is what, let me just get this up on the screen here. And then she proceeded to post these messages up on social media along with photographs of herself. Okay. So here we go. This is her. So she says, for those of you who do not know, when I was being beaten up and abused by my husband, I cried out for help and sent some photographs to Sandra Hill of Cayman Mall Road. thinking she might be able to help me to stop the abuse. But she refused to post the pictures and expose the abuse of me and others. I realize that I have done wrong and I'm sorry, but now that I am broken and down, she is publishing me. Okay. Where were you when I needed help? Sandra, and she, of course, I don't know where she get this last name from. Cat Rum. Okay, maybe she was drinking when she posted this. I'm not really sure. But let's break it down for a minute. You claim that you reached out with photos and so on, right? Now, I'm not going to call Brittany a liar quite yet, but let me just put it this way. Her story is more than suspect. One of the wonderful things about social media, and I really am thankful, big shout out to Meta and Facebook, is they do a really good job, folks, of keeping a history of conversations. Brittany has blocked the CMR page. She's blocked me personally. I don't even know this girl, right? If I go on my Instagram page, I can't find her. It's the CMR Instagram page. We can't find her account, but she's there. Other people can send me all the stuff that she's posting, obviously. And so it's interesting that I was able to go back and find messages from her back in August, on August the 30th of 2022. Now read very carefully what Brittany said. Brittany reached out and said, "Hi, I sent you guys a message on Instagram. I want you guys to post something for me. An expat is making me feel unsafe and I'm pregnant. I want him to pack it up and go back home in disgrace for his crimes against me." Now, to be quite honest, it doesn't stand out to me in any way. I can't say, I searched for this message through, what's it called? Through Messenger on what's called the business suite. So it will search both Instagram and Facebook. So it's entirely possible that she sent a separate message on Instagram. I don't recall having seen these messages or these photos. So if she sent them, I'm very, very curious for her, because she should be able to produce a screenshot for her to actually show exactly where the messages are. Sometimes messages go like in a junk folder and, I can't find them, to be quite honest. So I don't know where the messages went to, right? Now, in this message, what I can tell you is we responded to her, came back, and she said, oh, she's ready for an interview. Now, the fact that she said, "Hi there, I'm ready to do the interview, please," this leads me to believe that we would have had some additional conversation with her, right? Where we would have said, "Oh, okay, you have to come on and tell your story." Let me be very, very clear about this. Nobody can come to us in this day and age and say, "This is happening to me." Yeah. And you guys must just take my word for it. Listen, I'm not in her relationship. I don't know who's beating her up, who's not beating her up. I don't know who this person is. I have none of those details. What I do know is if you reached out to me and said, "This is happening to you," and then you respond later on and says, "Oh, you're ready to do an interview." At some point, we had a conversation and I told you about what our rules of engagement are. I'm not going to get on this show and swear for you or nobody else. That's why I ended up in court before a judge, a grand judge, with him not understanding how things work in this community and why I got convicted in relation to Matthew Leslie. Because all of Matthew's alleged victims and accusers were coming to me with a story. And I took that upon my own shoulders, folks. Let me be very, very clear that y'all understand what that case was about. And when it came down to it, where were the victims? None of them were there to be seen. And the judge gave me some advice on that program that I took to heart. He said, don't be a mouthpiece for all of these people. Make them tell their stories. Make them go to the police. Right? He's saying, how is it that the system has failed so much that everyone is running to this woman to solve their problems? And I said, that's a very good question. And so when it comes to accusations of criminal behavior and criminal activity, honey child, you have to man up or woman up or whatever it is you are and come and tell your story yourself. You guys saw a rape victim, the most vulnerable of all victims, sit on this program and tell you all what happened. That's what you have got to do. Now, in the first instance, if you are a victim of any sort of abuse, but definitely physical and domestic abuse, I should not be the first person that you reach out to. I don't have the power to kick anybody off this island. And it's so interesting that if you read her message, even her initial message does not say, I'm having the crap beat out of me, right? She says an expat is making me feel unsafe and I'm pregnant. What does that mean? Someone is making you feel unsafe? That's not how you describe it if somebody is doing this to your face and somebody's beating you up. They're not making you feel unsafe. They are making you unsafe. They are violently attacking you. So now for her to backtrack and claim that she reached out to me for help, I would say that your initial communication was less than less than convincing, right? Somebody's making you feel unsafe, honey child. You contact the police. You do not, and I repeat, you do not contact CMR and think that I am going to be in a position to assist you. Contact the police immediately and file a report of domestic violence. That's what sensible people do. And that's what all victims of abuse should do. So I will make it very, very clear here, folks. Call the police if anybody hits you. Yeah? Anybody sexually assaults you. Make a police report. That is what you need to do in the first instance. I want him to pack it up and go back home in disgrace. So that is what you're hoping that CMR is going to be in a position to do? No, honey. No, that's not what we're here for. Because now you're asking me to be somebody's judge, juror, and executioner when I don't know you and I don't know the person. You see, this is where y'all think I'm a fool and I was born this size. Anybody who contacts me needs to be showing me some evidence of what you are saying. Yeah? And trust me, there's always evidence to be had. There's always a message exchange about why did you pop my lip? Why do you keep beating me? There's voice notes of him apologizing, begging you to come back, or whatever the situation is. And none of that would have been sent. Come on, girl. Brittany, step up to the plate and let's have this make a little bit of sense. Because right now, I'm a bit confused about what it is that you're actually saying. You want me to kick somebody off this island on your word? And I don't even know who the hell you are? I mean, like, what? You must have a few loose screws. Okay? So the first lesson for today, everybody paying attention in class? If you are assaulted, you are the victim of any sort of assault, your first course of action is to contact 911 or go to the police station and make a police report. Now, I get it. Some of y'all say, well, Sandy, you're more effective at, than the police with certain things. But listen, helping you find a dog, find a husband, all these kind of things, that is one thing. Even getting your stolen laptop back, that's fine. I can't prosecute anyone on your behalf. I cannot take them to court, right? The police, along with the prosecution, has to do that. And that means that you, as said victim, has got to stand up for yourself. So this girl has got the most to say, but I would encourage Brittany to show the actual, does anybody have Brittany's phone number? so I can check my WhatsApp messages to see if she ever WhatsApped me. Show the actual messages, Brittany, of where you sent me those pictures and what I would have said to you. Because I'm pretty sure, without even remembering this, that I would have asked you, have you gone to the police? Go to the police and report this. You say a crime has been committed, then by all means, you need to contact the police. That's what we pay them for. That is their job. And then there's help for you as a victim of domestic abuse. Now, Brittany, let me be very, very honest with you. I don't know you, and I don't know your ex-husband. And as I was sitting here searching for messages that you might have sent, ironically, I came across other people sending me messages about you that evidently I had not seen. But now it will all become a matter of public record. You know, I keep telling y'all about the Barbara Streisand effect, where sometimes you are better off not saying anything at all than to open your mouth and then draw additional attention to yourself. Because when you do so, on this platform in any event, I have an obligation to disclose everything that I know. And boy, apparently I know more than I knew that I knew. Yeah? Brittany, explain to me, if you can, why someone would have gone to the extent, and I'm going to show you all these pictures, of contacting me back in February. Hold on, I'm going to show you all the evidence. And of course, this is one of those, what we call a burner account, right? So this is someone who doesn't want their ID to be disclosed. So they go and set up these burner accounts. And then, of course, once again, this message was not seen by me, but nonetheless, they sent this. And in the message, they're saying, let's pause it. They sent some links. And then they said, this is the most evil act anyone can commit. Oh no, it looks like we responded and said, what is this? This is the most evil act anyone can commit, adultery while pregnant. This is not the first time these two individuals have scammed in the Cayman Islands. And then they named Brittany and Sean. Don't know who Sean is, but they sent various links about Brittany and Sean. As you can see, it looks like they sent a few Instagram links, and then they sent some Facebook links. So people have been trying to highlight Brittany herself for some time. It says cheating scammers and pathological liars who work together, utilizing government vehicles to extort jewelry and cash. Oh, hold on. Let's back it up. To extort jewelry and cash from their victims. Beware of Shane Hayes and Brittany Thompson. I don't know who either one of them are. And then they put links in here. So Brittany, what I would say to you is the same way that we didn't take you up on your accusations and desire to get someone kicked off this island. As you can see, this person, this Here It Comes 29, we didn't take them up either. Because some of you all believe that you can use Cayman Mall Road for your own, what's the word that I'm looking for? Your own badness, your own vendettas, right? Y'all have a score to settle with each other, and you intend to do that by actually trying to out each other with your bad behavior. It doesn't mean that the bad behavior doesn't have some merit to it. I can tell you all that now. That's not what it means, or what it doesn't mean, I should say. So whoever was talking about you and this person scamming, calling you a pathological liar, they may have very well been onto something, right? But as you can see, we did not take them up on it. Yes. So Brittany, I had a search for it's Sean. Thank you for the correction. Don't know who he is either, but somehow he's caught up in the whole Brittany saga. So I took the liberty of searching for Britney on what's it called? Searching for Britney on Instagram messaging. Didn't see any messages from her. She has some IG name called DJ Honey. I don't know who the hell DJ Honey is supposed to be, but what I can tell you is we were not able to locate any messages from Britney. I'm not going to swear because, like I said, we get a lot of messages, honey chow. Yes? So I'm not going to say that Britney never reached out to us beyond the one that I see here for sure. But I certainly can't find it. I've searched high and I've searched low. I've searched in my messages. And the only one that actually comes up, I've searched Britney. I've searched DJ Honey. The only one that actually came up, and those links are no longer live, but the only one that actually came up would have been this message actually complaining about you and calling you a cheating scammer and pathological liar, working together, utilizing government vehicles to extort jewelry and cash from their victims. So I don't know what the scam was, and I don't know exactly what Britney was doing, but somebody was complaining as of February this year about the same said Britney Thompson. I see your messages coming in, folks. Give me a second here. I'm going to get to some of those. So again, the question remains, what does that have to do with you being a thief? So you believe, let's understand this logic, right? That you email me, contact me about someone who you say is doing something to you. Okay. And because that is not acted upon, when somebody else reaches out now that you have victimized, we shouldn't put you up. We shouldn't publish you. Britney, you might not be the smartest person in the world. I'm afraid to inform you, just in case you were thinking you're smart, you might actually not be, because that makes zero sense. It doesn't make any sense. We have irrefutable evidence that you stole from office supply. You're bold. You walk in there, you drive your BMW to the scene of the crime. You walk into someone's business, you remove their laptop, right? Put it under your arm, then go around the corner, put it in your handbag, come back for the charging cable. Try to hide the box. Your evidence could not have been more clear on the video. Do I need to show it to y'all again? Do y'all remember what was shown to you last week? So help me understand now. Yes? How on earth does that compare to you making allegations with no evidence against someone else just because he's an expat, or we must get him kicked off this island? Britney, I don't care if he's an expat or if he's a Caymanian. If he was abusing you, the penalty should be going to jail, and you should have contacted the authorities. But you see, some of you don't believe, and I want you to wake up this morning now and listen very, very carefully to what I'm about to say. Some of you do not believe that women are capable of violence. Ooh, honey child. Exhibit number 1, Britney. Exhibit number 2, Tiffany Conley. Listen to me. Women of all shapes and sizes are capable of being very, very violent physically. No one can tell you that Tiffany, whatever Leanne Conley, could possibly inflict the kind of damage that she does on her victims. Like, nobody would believe it. But when you sit in court and you hear a man in his 50s start to cry after this ordeal of what he went through, being boxed in the face, being kicked in the groin, being bitten, on his chest. And then his son comes to the rescue. They're both head butted and all this kind of stuff. This girl has so much strength, she can pick up a bicycle and throw it on top of a car. Pick up a brick and throw it on the next car. Listen to me. Y'all do not have to tell me more than once that there are enough crazy women out there who will beat your behind left, right, and center all up and down the streets of the Cayman Islands. And I can tell you without fear of contradiction that there are a lot of men who live in fear on a daily basis in this country from women. Yeah? So I can't pick a side in this. I don't know who's telling the truth. And unfortunately, I also am not in a position to, I'm going to out him. He has a totally different story. We're going to allow him to come on the show, give his side of the story. Then he's going to say, well, Miss Sandy, I'm not the one who's beating her. She's the one who's crazy, not me. Well, there might actually be some evidence to support this, because other people have contacted me who know said couple. Let me read to y'all what they said, because y'all want to pay attention now. After the first story went out with Britney stealing, this person contacted me and they said the following. They said, let me see if I can find the message. They said, I'm good friends with her ex-husband. Britney is a terrible person. She has many charges against her. She tried to murder her ex-husband for money and using the baby for ransom against him to get more money for drugs and partying. This is a constant and continuous matter. While her husband is working, making millions of dollars, she's busy, and then they use a expletive, which we can't use in the program, but use your imagination. Begins with an F. She's busy, bleep, many different men on the road. Now she just had a baby that doesn't even belong to the ex-husband. I would sometimes go by their house for a get-together. 1 minute she's all smiles. Then once she goes to the bathroom, often and drinking, she starts lashing out at his friends and family, threatens to kill, throws glass and knives, and then calls the police to play the victim. Let me be very clear. This message was sent before, so that y'all get the correct chronology of events. This message was sent before she started claiming that this man was abusing her. But I didn't post it. So poor little foolish Britney now doesn't even know that their friends and acquaintances are already reaching out to me, telling me that Britney is the violent one and she is the crazy one. And she's the one who's throwing knives and glasses and getting violent with people. So when I saw Britney, your photos now claiming that you are a victim, I was like, oh, really? Okay. Well, other people seem to have a very different opinion. Opinions are opinions, and it's not facts, but this person is saying that firsthand, they've witnessed violent outbursts and behavior from you. I'm just saying. Once again, I cannot be put in a position to take sides in such a domestic situation. That's why you called the police, because the police can take eyewitness statements and they can get to the bottom of what actually is going on. And they can figure out who the actual aggressor is. But what I do know, Brittany, is you don't seem like you're a very honest person. And so, this is how my aunt taught me. Somebody lies to you once, they're going to lie to you again. And chances are they're just a liar, right? And so I'm not going to beg you to show me who you are more than once. So Brittany is posting, she's posted several posts now. People have sent me the screenshots where she is obsessing over the fact that she was supposedly an abuse victim and I wouldn't help her. It's not my job to help you, Brittany. I try to help as many people as I possibly can, but that simply isn't my job. It's your job to help yourself get out of a bad situation. But you cannot use that as an excuse as to why you are going around hurting other people. In addition to that, it is not an excuse, right, for you to now not get posted on CMR. I don't know who told you that. I don't know who told you you're going to get a pass. in life because somebody once gave you a busted lip. Yeah. So now you can go out there stealing from people, murdering people, doing whatever you want, and it's not a big deal because of what? Morning caller, are you trying to call on the program? Whatever you want, and it's not a big deal. Hello? Because of what?
Take me off air. She just posted. I
Morning
sent you
caller, are you
something.
trying to call on the program? Y'all remember now, the calls come straight through, so you're live when you call me. Oh, she just posted something again? Oh yeah, poor Brittany. She needs the Lord this morning. Look at what she just posted. Oh yes. Oh, here we go. Poor Brittany. She says, I'm not doing the back and forth with you, Sandra. Oh, you're not? Gee, you could have fooled me because you've been posting incessantly now for days. Brittany, get your life together. Get your life together. Girl, how old is Brittany? Anybody knows how old this child is? Because she really must be a child to me. And I want you to know that you and I are not companions on any level, right? And I don't trifle and play with little children. And to me, you're acting very, very childish right now. You need help, and you should get help. Let me pull up this last message here. Give me 1 second. You should get the help that you need. And you claim you're not doing the back and forth, but you sure have a lot of time. What you need to do is stop stealing from people. She says, you're a liar and your lies are defamatory. So thanks for nothing, like I said. Okay. If what I'm saying is defamatory, call a lawyer. That's advice I would also give you. Call your lawyer and say, Sandra has lied against me and has defamed my name, and I want to sue her and take her to court. And then we can see who can bring forth evidence. She's a sick person. But all of them, it's like the same. Lord Jesus, how did we manage to raise girls? Pretty on the outside, but their insides are rotten. Yeah? Despicable little human beings. Seriously. And the only person commenting is her best friend. Oh, poor her. Only 8 people liked her post. Poor her. Brittany, try to get your life together, girl. You have got some serious issues. You mentioned that you have a baby. Can we try to make that child a priority now and not you and your selfish needs and desires and wants? Seriously? The girl needs professional help. But they jump on their bandwagon. Oh, Sandy is going to hurt my feelings this morning. Yeah. Let's talk about what else Brittany has been up to. Somebody said she's probably about 24. Oh, she's got a long life ahead of her tormenting people. She also stole from Kirk Market. Oh my God. Call your lawyer. Tell him it's defamatory because we got the video. That'll be going up next, Brittany. Okay. Kurt Market has a video of her stealing. They couldn't identify her. Well, Kurt Market should know better. They should just come to CMR for that part of the equation. So they didn't know who she was. You're a thief. That much we can say about you without fear of any lawsuits. Yeah? You're a liar. That much we can say about you without fear of any lawsuits. Girl, you're a pretty girl on the outside, but on the inside, you and Tiffany need to go to counseling together. You need to go to Help Me Get My Life Together boot camp. Both of you need to enroll. Wow. Absolutely unbelievable. You're right. You shouldn't be going back and forth with me because it's really not going to do you any good. You're only exposing yourself and who you really are. I'm not the one sitting here beating up anybody, posting pictures claiming that somebody else beat me up. If you were a real victim, and of course now she's posting all kind of stuff on social media about partner violence and all kind of stuff. Well, it's great that you can use Google. She's 26 years old. Somebody said born in 1997. Yes, it's fantastic that you can use Google. Good for you. But while you were out here trying to use this man for his money, again, I'm not going to speak to whether or not he was beating you? Because I have no knowledge of that. I don't know if he was beating you, if you were beating him, if somebody else was beating you. I don't know those things. But what I do know is you were living your best life. You weren't too worried about it when you were hanging out at the Ritz-Carlton, taking these pictures in the Ritz bathroom, showing off your designer shoes and handbags and living your best life. I'm just saying, why would you be staying in a relationship with someone who's abusing you? Not for all the money in the world. Okay? Come on, Brittany. I see you were back and forth a lot with this man talking about he doesn't know what he just lost. He probably does know what he lost. Somebody who was pretending that a baby was his when the man couldn't even have children. Do we really need to go there this morning, Brittany? Do we need to speak the truth? The whole truth and nothing but the truth? Yeah? She's talking about how he was the breadwinner. He was the one who wanted me to not work, she says. This is her own words. And he was the breadwinner, earning an average of $20,000 US per month on a commission basis as a stockbroker. Keep that in mind, as I received $500 US as child support for the 3 months since I took myself and my child away from him. Well, you sure he's paying child support? Because the streets are saying the child not even his, because he could not have children. But anyway, you go on. So he making $20,000 a month, which he works for, and you want the man's money? She goes on to say, he always made sure that my account was at $20,000. Oh, wow, really? You got $20,000 in the bank because of some white rich old man? Well, he's not really that old, I don't think, but still older than you. Wow, that's good. I don't have a man making sure I got $20,000 in my account. Maybe I need to call Marlon Hill and tell him to please step up his game. Sir, you're falling down on the job, Mr. Hill. Apparently these girls out in the streets getting $20,000 in their account. Their husband's making sure they got some coins. Where's Cindy? Cindy's here. Yes, honey, chill. Can we get a rich man like that to make sure I got 20 grand in my account and don't have to work for it? I don't have to work? Lord, maybe I've got the wrong equation here. No, because I yes, as my aunt always said, bless the person that has their own. And I know where my money come from. And I know how hard I work for it. And when my man decides to leave, or heaven forbid he loses his good sense and ever decides to touch me, yeah, you know, that's not going to end too well. I don't have to worry about how my bills are going to get paid. Or I don't have to worry about child support because me and mine will still be taken care of, regardless of which man. I don't have to go out there and steal a laptop, not baby food, but steal a laptop to live a highfalutin life. And you out partying every weekend and talking about you not got no money for child support. Wah, wah, wah. You sound like you're playing the world's smallest violin. Seriously. She goes on to say, after things were ugly, he told me he chose to downsize on the rent from $10,000 a month to $6,000. Wow, this dude was spending $10,000 on rent? Where the hell was he renting? Can I get his, Cindy told me she wants his number. I need his number. I got a place for you to rent. She claims he started moving his money from Cayman because he intended to make sure I get as little as possible in the event that we got a divorce. He reduced that to $2,000 and made sure I never exceeded that, because with $2,000 total savings, it would be exceptional to regain my independence. Poor you, honey child. Excuse me a second. Let me again, these are her words. So help me have it make sense. A man is making sure that you have $20,000 in your account and you're out there living your best life, going to the Ritz-Carlton. You not got the sense and the foresight to know that one day it's not going to last forever. Child, I would have been stashing that $20,000 in another bank account that he had no control over. But you see, you wasn't thinking that. You were thinking you could be out in these streets flossing like your lady Brittany, right? And that the life was just, the money was always going to be flowing. The wine was flowing. The drugs are flowing. Life was never going to change. Poor you. That's how I know you had to be young and dumb. Because life will teach you these tough lessons pretty early on, but you still got a few lessons to learn. $20,000 a month. A man is making sure that you have 20 grand a month in your bank account, and you're not trying to do something sensible with that. You know that when you're not gonna sense. Lord have mercy. Anyway, she goes on telling everybody her business, posting it all over social media like I'm supposed to be sympathetic. I've never had a man give me $20,000 yet. Maybe she needs to tell me what her secret is. Keeping 20 grand in my account. Wow. Y'all, I need to brush up on my skills. I better start going to some of them classes that, what do you call them? Aerobics, not aerobics, pole dancing or something. And this is where it's at. She says, I was a DJ when we met. He destroyed my equipment, so I couldn't fall back on that. You got $20,000 sitting in the bank, girl. A man destroys your equipment. She goes on to say that she's trying to get a job. She's visibly pregnant with a huge employment gap and no certifications. Whose fault was that? If somebody giving me 20 grand and I ain't got to work, child, I would have my PhD as a friggin' heart surgeon. I would be a medical doctor. I'd be aiming for the sky. I ain't got to work, and yet you can just give me $20,000? It's his fault that you don't have an education as well? You need to stop playing the victim here. All I hear is a lot of wah, wah, wah. Like I said, the world's smallest violin. Everybody's at fault, Brittany, but you. Take some accountability for your life. You have a child now, yeah? And regardless of who the child is and what the paternity scandal is, I suggest you get it together. Stop living out in these streets. These people out there partying with you, doing drugs with you, snorting, whatever you're doing, over drinking. What kind of life is that? That's not going to bring this rich man back in any event, regardless of what you now want to claim actually transpired. She's not going to fall back on a DJ. Well, I can tell you, is that why you stole the laptop? Let's be honest. We're stealing the laptop to start DJing again, because everybody knows a DJ needs a laptop. Is that what it was all about? You know, you could have come to CMR and begged. We would have gotten community donations together to help you get a job. Here's what she claims now. When her daughter was finally born and 3 weeks old, he got drunk and did coke again. And he punched me in the face, and I decided it was going to be the last time. Really? I was so disappointed, but I knew in my heart, and I had warned him as much as I could, that I would never expose my daughter to that. Okay. And you got pregnant with a man that was abusing you. Why? Because you never wanted to expose a child to that? I mean, none of this really makes much of any sense. Right. She claims that that she would have never taken on the responsibility of a child without feeling financially and otherwise secure. That's contradicting what you're actually saying, right? I conceived a child with the man I married. We knew as of 3 weeks term, I wanted her, and it had been our plan together. Why would you be planning to have a child with a man that you also say later on was abusive to you? You say you want to be secure financially and otherwise. Otherwise, the first thing that you should be secured in is your own safety. A man that you claim is snorting cocaine and beating you does not offer you safety. Why would you choose to bring a child into that situation? That doesn't make any sense. You say that in the second paragraph, and then by the fourth paragraph, You're talking about how he had this history of abusing you, and you told him that you would leave him. But you just said you wanted to bring a child into this secure relationship. Well, how does that work? I don't understand it. You would be a stay-at-home mother and work from home if I started the business. That was the agreement. I was already a housewife. That is what he wanted. I, of course, didn't mind. What a hot mess. Good morning, caller.
All right, Daddy. So you need to go and find a granny because I need 20K inside my account per month because I'm tired of being humble, okay? So you need to find a rich granny so that I can start getting paid because I am tired of being this humble wife. That girl was making 20K per month. You taking liberty of my niceness now. Rebellia, he need to find a granny. Have a nice day, Sandy.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, some of it just don't make no sense. Cindy says in the comment section she's lying. She went to school and stuff. Wow. I think she thought she found a fool in this poor little white man, and she was going to try and use him. She wouldn't be the first, and she's definitely not going to be the last. You children be out in these streets trying to use these men. And, the things that you need to really be looking for in a man isn't just his bank account and whether or not he can put $20,000 in your bank account. No, sir. I tell you, 936-2626 is the telephone number. Let's read some of your comments. Aliano says the boopsie. Alejandro, good morning. He says, is it true that Cayman got an OnlyFans page asking for a friend? Juliet says, a second Judith Douglas. Child, I don't even think Judith was that good. Because, she never found a man that would just make her stay home. She was scamming people for her money. She started to work for hers. Juliet says she thought that she had what she had, that she could control him with the baby. But the street saying the baby not his. How you gonna control a man with a baby that not for him? Child, that don't make no sense. Listen, I have a husband and his daughter is his eyeball. Yes, trust me. The bond is strong, and I can understand why some women think and believe that they can fool a man. Yeah, with their shenanigans. But I tell you what, it not gonna work. Long term, it just doesn't work. If you're not compatible with that person, no amount of children in the world gonna make them stay. And especially if there's a question of paternity, and he's loading you up with $20,000 a month, and you're still out there having relations with all these other men in the streets, girl. At least you could be loyal for 20 grand a month. There she is on the screen, stealing that laptop. Still driving that BMW he gave you, though. If times are so hard, why you don't sell the BMW? Downgrade to a Honda Fit. That's the life you live in now, honey child. You live in the Honda Fit kind of life. Sell the BMW. Yeah? Stay out of the bars, spending money on alcohol. And live that life. My goodness. What a mess. Instead, I have people who can send me all these photos of you living your best life with your mama up in the which place is this now? Hold on here. Oh yeah, let's look at the mama while we're at it. Since Brittany wants to block us, let's go ahead and look at the mama's social media profile. She has it wide open, so we can see the kind of lifestyle that Brittany was living. Her best life. The mother, she took a few things from the mom in terms of a few lessons. So here we go. Let's have a look. Oh, my tweetums. Look at the little cutie patootie. Oh, yes. Mama looking good, though. Somebody taught her how to do makeup. Living your best life. Oh, I see they love white rich men. I don't know if this one rich. I don't know if he giving her $20,000 in the bank account. But on a boat, she says, my amazing family. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Is that Brittany in the picture with her? Oh, yes, honey child. Y'all fools me with the weave, though. I can't keep up. Like every picture, they look different because they're wearing a different weave or wig or whatever. Is that Brittany? So I can't even keep up. But y'all love that life. I hear you there. This is where it's at. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program. Oh, yes. Look at the two of them living their best life. Hello. Yep, birthday on the boat. Oh, yes. Child. Some of y'all like the white vanilla. Ooh, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. My first husband was a white man. Y'all go ahead. Go on through, honey child. Live your best life. Let me, Miss Charlene, I see you trying to call me on WhatsApp. I'm assuming you might need a little credit, so I'm gonna try and call you if I have any credit. Hold on now, because I know you got some thoughts on this hot mess of a situation. Keypad. Let me see if I can call you. Yes, child. Look at them in
Number
love.
you dialed is temporarily out of service.
Oh Lord. Ooh, look at mama looking hot and sexy. My goodness. Oh my God. Good morning, madam. Sounds like you got a bad connection this morning. Hello? Nope, I don't know what's going on. I can't hear you. Morning, caller.
Morning, Sandra from Cayman Rock again.
Hey, how's the Brock, honey child? Oh Lord, I know y'all feeling it today, though. My God.
Yeah. Condolences to the family.
I have an update.
What's all about this morning, though?
Yeah.
You got 307 something people watching. Let's try to talk about something more productive rather than the still yelling.
Well, listen, you might not think that this is productive, Curtis.
Yeah, but you're just going on and on and on. It gets kind of boring.
You're
307 something people, man, they can't be. The whole 307 something people can't be enjoying.
Listen, we actually have 556 people listening because we have another 186 on YouTube.
Yeah, but that makes it worse.
No, let me tell you, let me educate you a little bit, Curtis. The reason why they are here is because they actually want to hear it. If I switch the conversation and we talk about the world economy or anything else, you will see that we would have half the numbers. Curtis, this is the world in which we live. This is precisely what people want to hear.
Well, I'm in my hammock watching my dog and my cat. They're not going to sit down and listen to this dog.
Oh my gosh. What do you say? You're watching the cat and the dog?
Yeah. And I plan on buying a little Honda Fit too, but you're going to make them sound so cheap now that I don't move.
They're good, economical cars. Did you get the Mercedes sold yet? Did you sell the Benz?
I sold them the first day.
What?
I'm the best when it comes to
wow, you need to become a professional salesman so you can be putting $20,000 in somebody's account too.
Yeah. Anyway,
don't worry, we're not staying on her for much longer, Curtis. Don't worry.
All right, well, message me when you come off of that because I don't want to.
All right, my dear.
Take care.
Okay, honey.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, I know that almost 600 people are on here because they actually do want to hear this conversation. And, you know, for Curtis, he might not be interested. Let me hear who else saying that they're not business with this. The rest of you really do want to hear this because at the end of the day, you're very much aware that these women who move in a certain circle have a much broader implication on the entire community. You think when she goes and steals from a business like Kirk Market or Office Supply, that it doesn't impact the rest of us? Right? These companies have to have all kind of security in place, all sorts of insurance, cost of this going up, cost of that going up. They categorize all of us in the same category, really. Look, thief and looking big life. Morning, caller. I can barely hear you. Say that again.
I said you got me with these convos. You know, I like hearing this little type of stuff. You know, I think that the Honda Fits shouldn't get that bad credit though.
Okay.
They help people with parking and all the space.
No, I'm not giving. No. Listen.
Yeah.
I'm driving, Alejandro. I'm driving a Honda Fit right now because of gas mileage, and it's a hybrid. I ain't got nothing against Honda Fits. What I'm saying is, if she can't afford the lifestyle of a BMW anymore, you sell that BMW and you downgrade to Honda Fit, which is economical.
And she should get a rental. That's where she don't have to worry about owning any bad cars.
Well, I mean, I don't know. A rental, you're gonna be paying every week for that. Should you have to steal money from people?
She's getting $20K a month. I don't know what she's doing wrong, but Sandy, look at her. Sounds like she needs a business manager, and I'm around.
Woo! Alejandro, looking for a job. He said he'll be your business manager. Yes, sir. Wow. These people living the good life, boy.
I think she needs to get better friends.
Yeah, well, you see the caliber of what they're looking for. They want friends with money.
Stealing that is as low as you can go. I prefer to murder first.
It really is sad.
Yeah, I prefer to be a murderer before I be a thief.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't prefer to be a murderer, but I'm not gonna be stealing from people. Look at this. You're not seeing the thing now, but she put up a video of this big time house on the water. The yacht is right there. Somebody comment when life is nice. Yeah, you're living this kind of life, but then you want to claim that the man beating you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They live in the wrong place.
You got to make your choices here. There's the wrong rich man there. Not all rich men beat people. Go find you another one who's not beating people.
Yeah, they're living in the wrong place. So, you hear about Epstein Island and them places like that. Those are the perfect spots.
Yeah. Look at when she got married. She had the most bomb wedding in the world. Right?
Yeah.
You want this lifestyle, folks. And you pick the wrong person. Right? You can't be staying in it just for the money.
You're going to get burnt.
Yeah. $20,000 a month and your account is not worth anything when you feel like you can't be safe, according to her. But I'm suspect. See what the mother wrote. The Good Life of Coral Gables. Happy wife, happy life. Wow. No, sir. All right, Alejandro. Thanks very much. KK says, thank God weave. I know, right? The weave is on point. I can tell you that. I wonder if these white men know how much they be paying for weave. No, sir. All right, let's read some of your comments and then we're going to move on. Andrea, wishing everyone a blessed day. She says, be careful on the roads. Yes, we're going to come to that next. Olivia says, yes, she does. I've known her for years. Johan says, Father God, please don't ever have Auntie Sandy talk of me and CMR the way she does to these other people. Well, Johan, I would hope that you have better sense than what we're seeing displayed here today, because this is a lack of sense and just pure ignorance. And I would hope that you're not going to be going stealing from anyone. However, if you lost your good sense and you decide to steal from people, you're going to be right on CMR too. Just for the record. Siobhan says, anyone is capable of violence, both genders. The man was raised by sailors, is aware women can be dangerous. Miss Dorothy says, for the most of what I see, Sandy, will screen before getting into anything. Marshall says, just look around the woman that killed the man in Northside and many more who were violent, beating up men. And this is a good point. And this goes back again to what I was saying earlier, folks, is you cannot judge a book by the cover. Lots of these women who you look at who are, they look so petite and tiny, like they can't mash ant, as Caribbean people would say. They are the ones. They're the deadly ones. Same thing with the girl in Northside, the Cayman, what's she, the Spanish girl? I think she's from Honduras. Stab up that poor man. And she was pregnant with his child at the time. You can imagine. Same thing with the one in Cayman Brack. Was it Cayman Brack or Little Cayman? That stabbed up that man and killed him as well. Not for nothing, but she was also another Spaniard. I'm just saying, some of y'all be taking your chances with these people who actually know how to use a knife. Lynette says, appreciate Sandra. This is so true. Nathan, good morning. Says, how can you as a man go through domestic abuse from a woman and don't say nothing? But when we put our hands or make a threat, they quick to arrest men. Why? Well, I will be the first to say, Nathan, that undoubtedly there still is a lot of, oh God, there's a lot of disbelief that women can be the violent ones in relationships. And even in the judiciary, you know, sometimes men get a hard time when it's not really them that are the perpetrators. Right? Yeah, that's the truth. Oh my goodness. They love the weddings. Okay. My love DJ, honey, that's her thing. So this is her when she was getting married to him, old enough to be her father, and made sure she had everything she wanted. Now she's trying to say that this man was beating her and doing all kind of stuff. I'm not so sure I believe it, to be honest. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I feel a little bit suspect about her allegations of abuse. Yeah. Wasn't that long ago, honey child. You were living your best life. Mm-hmm. Where is this? Is this the Ritz? This is a spa that I've never been to. So exclusive. I don't even know where this is. I mean, honest to God. Wow. So here's the thing now with this young lady, right? She has stolen, and as with all people, there has to be accountability for her behavior. The company has made a report. They're pressing charges. And hopefully, she's going to have to deal with the consequences of her actions. She can run to the court all she wants. And she can complain all she wants about, oh, this man was beating me, blah, blah, blah. But somehow I sincerely doubt that that's going to work on the court when they hear that you're stealing money from all over the place. Yeah? Seriously. You're going to have to come better than this. Your behavior is less than becoming. Wow. Living their best life. Now that the gravy train has stopped, nobody's guaranteeing you $20,000 a month in your bank account. You're out in the street stealing from people who are actually working very hard to try to run a business. Now, she claims that she has, people have sent me this nail salon business that she has. So, I can't help but wonder what it is that she has going on in terms of her own business. But I really hope that this young lady can get her act together. Here, because we nice, so we go on. Wow. Yes, my dear. These poor men, they don't know what they're getting into. Not everything that looks good is good. Let me tell you. Trust and believe. Sometimes there will be a price to pay for getting a little cutie on your hands to walk around with. Yes, my dear. Oh, they love the Chanel bags. They can certainly dress the part. Look at the diamond. Look at the ring. Ooh, my husband upgraded mine. I better try and show him this picture. All right, let's move on, folks. Brittany, get yourself some help. I am not here for you. You really need to get it together. John says she abused her husband and on charges for GBH when she almost killed him with a crystal glass. Oh, John, you just gave me an idea. Perhaps I need to do a search of her name on the court list then, because it sounds like she's the one who was in court for trying to kill the husband and not the other way around. But you see, they think I'm fool. They go, oh, let's run to CMR and tell her our half truth story and see if she can get him off this island. Listen to me. I'm not getting no man off this island that not did you nothing. In all likelihood. You're the aggressor. You're the one who needs to go. What is she doing here? What kind of status does she have? Can we revoke it? That's the real question that should be asked around here this morning. Just said there's always three sides to the story. Sure would like to hear the other two because her side doesn't make much sense. Alejandro says we Spaniards are like cheetahs. Careful, approach with caution. Marshall says a lot of men are afraid, they're ashamed to say that they're being beaten, abused by their wife or girlfriends. And that's true. And let me be very, very clear here. For him to leave and run from the jurisdiction, I kind of feel like he was running from something that was not so nice, right? Like a crazy woman. Aliano says overpriced and low quality. Garrett says at least Johnny Depp stood up. What a mess. Good morning, Miss Sue. All right, folks. Kamark says just because we don't talk, we take it like a man. Let me be very, very clear, Kamark and any other men out there who listen to the program. You should not tolerate domestic abuse, just like I tell women don't tolerate it. You shouldn't tolerate it either, because let's be very, very clear. Your life is at risk. Come to think of it, in the last 4 or 5 years, I can think of more men who've been killed as a result of domestic violence than women. So don't think that you are safe because she's a woman. Women can use weapons, right? Knives. That's how at least the one in the Sister Islands got killed. The one north side. There's actually two in north side, East End area. They were both stabbed and killed by women. Do not stay in violent relationships. There's really no logical reason for why you should do so. It's just unbelievable. Oh, it's so sad. All right. Let me just see if there's any additional comments that are coming in. This person says, oh my gosh, if this girl's mother's name is Nicole, she and I used to work together and she was a spoiled, rotten child. If it's her, then her father is Bunny Thompson. Who's Bunny Thompson? I don't know who he is, but her mother is Nicole. Wouldn't surprise me that you use the term spoiled rotten to describe her, though. This viewer for the program says, I'm here for it, laughing out loud. I know. Somebody else says, tell Curtis to come to Grand Cayman to cook some good rundown. They try to use Mall Road for their own personal agenda. Good morning. Oh, yes. Someone says, morning. Please don't overlook verbal and mental abuse. That is true, too. Someone says her father was an ex-police. Here. This Caymanians now, you know. This is how Caymanians can break it down for you, honey child. Y'all know how Caymanians think. We can tell you everything now. So here we go. So this one says, all right, hold on. Her father was an ex-police. He was married to somebody. Oh, Zamri, somebody, I don't know. Called Bunny. Get advice from her father. He used to sell clothes out of a van. The father? Zombie husband. She took him from Zombie. Okay. I don't know who Zombie is. I don't know who Bunny is. I don't know who any of them people is, honey. my God. No, sir. No, man. I don't know who any of them people is. Bunny and Zombie. Let me see if I can reach. I gotta try now again to call Charlene. I know Charlene was trying to call me. We're trying to get the toll-free number still sorted out, folks. Her daddy is one of the Thompson brothers. Not sure which one, but John Thompson family, uncle or daddy. Oh, she family to them. Morning caller. I get the real source now, the Caymanian source of who she is and who she for. So she's not one that we can send back to Jamaica then. What a mess. Bonnie Thompson was an ex-prison officer married to Z Marie. She is related to the Ramones. Aye. It's Z, what? Not Zombie. It's Z Marie? Some name. Anyway, after she had Brittany, he went back to Z Marie or whatever. Okay, what? Now this is where it's at. Morning caller. I try to make sense of this nonsense. Hello? Uh-oh, Miss Charlene? Are you there? I can't hear you. It's Zimmery? How's the name pronounced? Anyway, something so. Let me call you back, Miss Charlene, because I can't hear you. I'm not sure what happened there, honey chill, but let's try that again. All right. This person says, hi, Sandra. She sounds like that bleach-out girl from A.L. Thompson's that scammed the little old man, the dentist. Oh, yes.
Yes, ma'am, morning.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I was just calling to say to you that your Aunt Lottie would have had something to say about this Netflix that you're giving us this morning. Oh, my goodness. This is so horrible. And as it's one of our own. And I would almost say, my gosh, I don't think she was raised that way.
Well,
I don't think so.
I can tell you what my Aunt Lottie would have told you. The apple don't fall far from the tree. Because
gosh, girl, I can't believe that from grandmother right down.
Listen, I looking at the mommy, maybe not on the daddy's side, but I looking at the mommy, aka Nicole, and I can see that she loved this high life, honey child. And some of these girls raise their little children. Listen, you can have the best possible life in this world, but you earn it. Yeah? You work for it. Nobody else not gonna give you no good life. And I can tell you what, based on what I see the mother going on, but she don't look like she working either.
But that's not who I think it is either.
Well, as Aunt Lottie would say, they're working on their backs. And that wasn't no compliment back in the day.
God. But people who are really facing domestic violence, both male and female, this kind of story don't really help their cases.
Not at all. Because when you have people crying wolf,
is bothering me.
Yes,
is bothering me right now.
That's right.
This doesn't help a woman who is really being busted. I was introduced to domestic violence when I was about 8 years old, and from next door, you could discern even when she was trying not to shout and scream, when he was beating her, because you could hear the flesh hitting the flesh.
Oh my God.
That was like an alarm clock. It was loud. So I know about domestic violence. And I say it wasn't in my house. It was next door. So I don't think that people who really go through that on a daily basis, especially people who are good people who try to do what they should do to make day-to-day life, they don't deserve to be made fun of. I call this making fun of people who really suffering physically, mentally, financially, every way that a person could holistically suffer, they suffer. And I am not in bed with every woman who claims domestic violence, because I know men can claim the same thing. I'm not in bed with everybody who shouts out. But sometimes, you know the difference, you see the difference, you know the difference, you believe the difference. And this morning now really not helping the folks who really go through it.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
And
have
that's
a nice show.
all right, darling. And that really is the saddest part. And of course, when you have children involved, I mean, she now has a daughter, and you have to wonder what that daughter's life will be like as well. You know, being exposed to a mother who's out in the streets doing all this kind of foolishness, it's quite sad. I mean, you know, I'm looking at the situation here as one where this girl needs some professional help. That's for sure. And I hope to God that she gets it. 936-2626 is the telephone number. Bigger issue here is really one of abuse. You know, oftentimes we don't know all the ins and outs of people's relationships and what's going on. But according to John says she's the one who's in court. He says she's also had property damage charges against her husband for destroying a rental car, which she intentionally ran into his Jeep. Oh, wow. So, yeah, this sounds like a mad situation. Wow. Oh, good morning, caller. Uh-oh. Hello? Miss Darlene?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. Morning. Okay, Sandy, I want to say this. Everybody know me. I was a victim of domestic violence. And it not only physically damages you in every aspect. And I can tell you, the first time, I can say this now, the first time that a man or a woman put their hands on you, they need not do it again.
Yes.
Because that's where you become vulnerable. That's where you believe, okay, I hit her or he hit me and blah, blah, blah. That's okay, you know? And then it's such a psychological thing, because then you think that you're doing the wrong things. So, you know, it's kind of feeds into everything about you being the bad person. So what I tell people, and everyone that knows me know, I do not hide it. I did not hide it, and I will never hide it, because thank goodness I had support. Family support was like nothing, like all of the therapy, whatever. But it takes you as that victim to decide to say, listen, it is this, it's over. Walk away. I walk away with my 3 kids and nothing. But thank God that I had the support from my sister, and brother, and the whole community.
Yes.
I remember one time I was my ex-husband, and by the way, me and my ex-husband are now on talking terms. And he has asked me to forgive him. I forgave him long before he asked me to forgive him. But you have to get that strength
to leave.
To leave, regardless. And I know Caymanian women especially, we sit down and we worry, oh God, you know, and I'll get the money to pay this and I got to pay. The best thing, and my siblings said, listen, we will help you as soon as you leave that relationship. And there was nothing that was stopping me. I also remember my son Felix stood up to his father, and I remember him taking me to a lawyer and said, listen, Miss So-and-so, my mom come for her divorce. And the lawyer said, no, it doesn't go like that, Felix. You have to go through the courts. And he took everything. He took every picture, everything, and he went to the courts and he said, listen, my mom comes for a divorce. And the words that he said that turned me, and I don't know if you even remember it still, when he looked at the lawyer in her office and he said, if you don't give my mommy her divorce, I am going to take my baby brother and my baby sister, and I am going to leave and go with them. Because he was like 16, and of course the other one was maybe 6 and 5, whatever. And let me tell you something, when it comes to your children, that changed my whole, I didn't even think again. I never had another thought. I went through that divorce, and every time somebody would see something on me, like maybe my eye was blocked or blocked or red and black, I would say, listen, this is domestic violence.
Wow.
This is domestic violence. I never hid it. I was working at the airport, and I'll never forget my boss saying, at that time, Darlene, you cannot go on the bench. You have to stay inside the office. I said, no, sir, I am going on the bench, and I'm going to make everyone that see me see that this is domestic. This is domestic violence.
Wow.
And I went through that, got a divorce. I wasn't happy in my life, just knowing that I was free. I was free from torture, because you couldn't sleep, you couldn't eat, you couldn't do anything. And I want to say today to every person that's listening to me, if I could do it, anybody can do it. Anybody. That's why I have a sense of life now, and I enjoy my life as it is, and nobody's going to take that away from me besides Almighty God, who I built my trust in and who has brought me through this. So report it, leave. You don't need that. We leave. There's nothing wrong. You look back and you say, wow, how am I going to leave because nobody he going to now help me? No, you get more help when you step out of it than when you are in it. That was my experience. So just wishing everybody well and be healthy. That is the best thing. Be healthy, because a lot of things come up, diabetes and all that, because of the
stress
abuse,
and
the stress.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
well, you live to tell the tale, and I appreciate you calling in, because of course
I never hide it. I
Yeah.
never hide it. I'm here and I do the same thing. Advocate for domestic violence and let people know, listen, you need to get out of it. It's nothing in there for you if somebody's gonna beat up on you.
Yes.
For real. I never saw my mom get it from my dad. And that's the main thing. I did not experience that. And I say, to hell with it. Nobody's gonna do me what my father never did to me and my siblings or my
Yes.
mother.
That's
All
right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I mean that is Miss Darlene. Thank you so much. Miss Olive says thanks for your bravery, caller. This is it, right? Having conversations like this is really, really important. And Miss Charlene said, when people expose themselves, because that's all Brittany has done, she's exposed herself here, right? And she tries to lie on this man and make him out to be the aggressor, and yet we're hearing that she's the one who's in jail, in court. John says it's all in the police file, right? If it went to court, we can see the file, and we will certainly go and request it so we can have a better idea of the type of person that we are dealing with. Someone else mentioned, but if this is the person that they're thinking of, they said, trust me, she learned this from the mother. They're seeing Nicole standing in front of the Dior store, wearing Louis Vuitton scarves and designer handbags and whatever. Not only did she try to break up whoever Bonnie Thompson is, his relationship, and had Brittany with him, but she also, the same husband she got now, and this white man giving her this lifestyle, he was married when she met him. And guess what? She mashed up that relationship in order to get her hands on the money bag, literally. And every single handbag, LV, and all sorts of stuff, designer from head to top. Even the weave must be designer, I guess. I don't know how weaves go, but I guess they can be designer too. As mothers and as women, especially when we have girls, we have to be very, very careful. The example that we're setting for our own children. Because I tell you what, like I was telling Miss Charlene, I didn't figure that the apple fell far from that tree, just looking at them. Sometimes you can judge a book by the cover. Believe me, you. She's living her best life. She better try and talk to her daughter. That's what she better try and do. She's out here stealing. If your mom is so rich and every bag is a designer LV handbag, please call your mother and ask her to buy you a laptop. There's no reason for you to go into Office Supply and steal from these people. Right? I'm sure her husband, you're now the stepdaughter. I mean, he's not going to give you $20,000 a month in your bank account if he's not sleeping with you, that much I'm sure of. But perhaps he could give you a low 4 or 5 a month, help you out until you can find a job, you can get a skill. You can go and work for a living. Women, don't rely on any man. I don't care what they promise you, because they'll promise you the world. And then when it comes down to it, you better have something in your head. You better have a piece of paper. You better have your own life and your own career. Even Nicole, I hate to tell her, she might be living life now with this so-called husband. But I tell you what, next thing you know, he divorced you, and what are you gonna do? Go out there and earn your own. You know, God blesses the man or woman that has their own. All right. Alejandro says, Brittany, I hope that Brittany recovers because she might be damaged, but we can have potty if she doing it herself. Sorry. We can have potty. I don't even know what that means. John says she carried on affairs while engaged, married, and pregnant. She created this world and takes no accountability. Somebody else, speaking of that, says that this is another Tiffany. Pretty face, but no substance. Playing the victim when others get fed up with their narcissism. Put Marsha in her place, please, like only you can do. Who the heck is Marsha? All right, let's move on. Her mother took her father from Zamre, Ramon, and years later he went back to Zamre. What a mess. Oh, y'all got the news. Nicole went to the USA after Brittany finished high school, and it was go a high and mighty man money. If she's Zimmerie's ex-bunny, he was a police officer. Not sure if she's him or the other Thompsons here, though. But if for Bunny, then he's Jamaican. So Bunny's Jamaican. Don't know where the mother from. Well, one thing we know, she's not Caymanian. I'm pretty sure she's Jamaican as well. So Bunny's Jamaican. Oh, mess. Hot mess. Anyway, let's move on. Brittany, sort your life out. Don't lie in CMR, I hope, is the lesson that you can learn from all of this. Get yourself some professional help and try to do better. Stop the cycle of using men for money with yourself so that your daughter doesn't have to do it either. Cece says, I feel her mother always had a standard set for her that was too high to begin with. Always wanted her to be this top girl. I mean, you can set your standards high enough, but you can't go about it the wrong way. Always set your standards high, but don't lie, don't cheat, don't, marry people just for their money and still can't even be faithful to them. I mean, that's disturbing in and of itself. Child, listen to me. If some man was putting $20,000 in my bank account, you'd believe that I would be his queen. He not got to worry about me out in these streets with nobody else. I'm just saying. All right, then. Let's keep it moving. Someone says, thanks for the radio. It was much appreciated. It is small but powerful. Have a great week. Thank you very much. All right, folks. John says this is shameful. It is, but these people don't have no shame. Hey, King, joining us from the UK. He says, what kind of scandal this I tuned into? Let's move on. Let's move on. All right. So, folks, listen. Unfortunately, there was another road fatality over the weekend. And let's take a quick commercial break to kind of break it up. Because honestly, this is such a tragic, tragic situation. It just breaks my heart, really, to even have to talk about this. But let's take a quick commercial break. The Department of Environmental Health has announced that the November bulk waste collection schedule has been replaced by one in the month of May, starting with West Bay, May the 1st through the 6th. Please note that following West Bay, there will be a Georgetown bulk waste collection from May the 8th through the 13th, and then Bordentown from May the 15th through the 20th, followed by Northside and East End from May the 22nd through the 27th. Stay tuned to this platform for more bulk waste scheduling information.
The annual business surveys being conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office, ESO, are ongoing. The surveys run from April 11th to June 16th, 2023, and collect information to answer questions like, how did the economy perform in 2022? What is the value of the income received from the rest of the world in 2022? Your response matters. Fill out and return your surveys to the ESO. Remember, better data, better decisions, better business. For assistance, visit www.eso.ky or call 244-4600 or 244-4676.
Ocean Ridge Heights offers an amazing opportunity to own a piece of land in idyllic Cayman Brac, right on the bluff, starting from $80,000. Located in a quiet residential area with high elevation, these lots are ideal for a future home or investment property and are sure to go fast. Cayman Brac offers a laid-back lifestyle, amazing pristine diving, limestone caves, diverse flora, along with amazing wildlife. Inquire about the owner financing options so that you can secure your piece of paradise today. With only a few lots remaining, these are sure to go before you know it. Contact Crichton Properties today on 345-949-5250 or info@crichtonproperties.com.
Honey, you remember to bring your lunch, right?
Oh, come on. You know I wouldn't.
Seriously?
Popeyes?
Popeyes.
Popeyes to the rescue again.
Mommy, I prefer this to your chicken anyway.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Cayman doesn't just like that chicken. We love that chicken from Popeyes.
All right, welcome back, folks. 936-2626 is the telephone number. Big shout out to Popeyes and Burger King. They sponsor 3 shows per week. Really appreciate them. We got more sponsors coming on board. I'm going to be telling you guys about Island Taste. Listen, all the food places, because they must know I'm a foodie, all the food places want to sponsor CMR these days. So come on board, honey child. So you guys know that we got lots of fun things, that exciting things that are coming up in the coming weeks that we're going to be looking at. So, of course, I went to Capella on Saturday evening. We covered it. We did some live coverage of it. So you guys who might not have been able to attend, we have a lot of, Caymanians living abroad. They want to keep up with what's going on. They were able to tune in and see some of the performances. And, as I was leaving the event, I said to my husband, I wanted to leave a little bit early. It makes me very nervous and uncomfortable. This is God's honest truth. When there are big events on this island, we have Carnival coming up this week, right? Isn't there Juve? I don't even know what Juve is, but y'all having Juve, and you're going to be out in these streets dancing and palancing and rolling up on people and gyrating and all that kind of stuff. That's coming up. Yes. I think Badabanu is first, and then the next week is K-Mass. Anyway, you young people and some of y'all old people trying to still capture your youth, y'all be out in these streets shaking your little patootie all over the streets of Cayman, drinking, and you got your rum or whatever in your little glasses and having a good time. Enjoy your best life. If that's what you're into, fine. Just don't hurt anybody, Don't fight with anybody, whatever. That's fine. But I'm always very antsy when people are out drinking, especially big events, crowds, and so on, right? So I saw a young lady. I was big shout out to the organizers of Capella. Had some complaints. Yeah, we can talk about it. I don't think you ever will have an event in Cayman where some people will not complain. The food vendors, their pricing, some of them were crazy. Now, Burger Shack is one that I looked at their price board because they're a food van, right? So they have the little food thing there, the portable thing. So the pricing is actually in the side of the van. And then they had a limited menu list for this event. So you could look at the real pricing. You didn't have to guess. And then you looked at the event pricing. And I want to know, why were y'all trying to sell a milkshake for $12? Seriously? Burger Shack, a $12 milkshake? The $12 burger was bad enough. I'm like, honey child. And like one woman said, she's like, they don't even have chocolate. It's only vanilla and strawberry, and they want to charge somebody $12. I was like, y'all look crazy. I mean, you have a captured audience of thousands of people. You're going to make money, but you don't have to rip it in us. Oh, Lord. Big shout out to Mousy. Mousy Macfield was there. She had her little jerk stand, and she was jerking her chicken. And I don't know if they had jerk pork, but I know she had jerk chicken. And child, everybody was running out of food. That's how good it was, right? Because, you know, people were there from early in the afternoon. The festival was an all-day event. People were partying, having a good time. You know, they drink, they got to eat to try and sober up a little bit. So while I was standing in the Burger King line, there was this lady there who she could barely stand up. She was so drunk. Thankfully, she looked like she was with a friend who wasn't as drunk as her, because the friend was trying to hold her up, and she was like stumbling all over the place. And I said, oh Lord, y'all are so sloppy. I don't drink, but I couldn't imagine getting that drunk. She could barely stand up. So anyway, I think her friend was trying to get her food, you know, so that that could really sober her up. But I said to Marlon, we waited for UB40, of course, because UB40 is, you know, that's what we were there for. And they played a few hits. And then I said, all right. I said, listen, now let's leave a little bit early. Number one, I don't like traffic, especially at night. Number two, I don't want to be on these streets with all these drunks. Already we could see that the place was going crazy because some fool went and decided to rob Burger King, which I'm going to show you all that video here in a second. So, you know, I said, well, good Jesus, they got robbed Burger King at 8:30 at night. Who knows what else might be popping off tonight? So let me get off the streets. He said, no problem. Let's go home, honey, chill. So anyway, I came home, got myself ready for bed. You know, I was still a little bit worked up from the event. So I said, oh, you know, I'm going to take it easy. Like I wasn't quite ready to sleep yet. So I said, oh, let me watch a little news and whatever. And eventually I went to bed, and then I woke up like at 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning because Gianna decided she got up and came, and she wanted to sleep with, well, I've been sleeping with her in her room just to make my life easier. But we're like, okay, let's all sleep in the master, right? So we're all sleeping in bed, but she is at the point where she wants to sleep in her own bed. She prefers to sleep in her own bed. So she woke up at 4 o'clock. She's like, I want to go back to my bed, but she wants me to come with her. So I was like, all right, let's go. So that disrupted my sleep. Like when she wakes up, like, come, let's go back to my room. I was like, all right, we got to grab all of her pillows and get comfortable in the whole 9 yards, right? So I was up. When you wake me up at 4 o'clock, it's kind of hard for me to get back to sleep. So I was up and I started going through my messages. And it was at that time that I received the video of what looked like a really, really bad accident on Spot Street. And I heard it was a single car accident. And several people sent me some video footage of it. And I thought, oh man, this doesn't look good. The car looks really, really mashed up. I could even tell if it was a car, an SUV, like I wasn't sure what it was because the footage is like crazy. So anyway, you know, I thought this doesn't look good. I went to bed. I was really tired then because my sleep was interrupted. So I woke up kind of late then on Saturday morning, only to hear that we had a fatality. And not only did we have a fatality, folks, but it was, you know, a beautiful, and I mean, absolutely gorgeous young lady, Cayman Bracker. The poor Brack in East End, they've been getting hit lately with some deaths that it's just crazy. And it's just, you know, she's the niece of Juliana O'Connor Conley. So her dad apparently is Juliana's brother. Her mom is a Grizel. And the outpouring of love and support to this family, you know, I can say has just been absolutely amazing. So such a beautiful young lady. I've not heard a single bad word about her. I heard she was beautiful inside and out. She is 22 years old. You know, everybody says she was just such a nice girl. We don't know what happened. We're not going to speculate in terms of what went down. I've spoken to some of her family members. The police have their own theories, which they will obviously now have to investigate. It's safe to say that the car had, substantial damage. Apparently, she hit a wall. I drove up and down spots yesterday, and I couldn't even see what wall she hit, to be honest. I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, which wall? Like, I didn't see any wall that was, damaged or anything. So I don't even know. But here she is. So pretty. I mean, look at that face. Right? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry for her family and friends. Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. 22 years old, and that's it. Her life is over. Oh, it got me to thinking. I don't want to go too deep into this conversation today, but what I want to say is we need to do something urgently. And when I say urgently, I do mean urgently, to try to address the number of road fatalities that we have on our roads. Yeah. That is 2 young Caymanians in less than a week. You know how devastating that is to families, both in their 20s, and that is 3 in less than a month. Someone says she's 23. I thought her uncle told me she was 22, but 22, 23, in that age, young, just absolutely unbelievable. This is just sad. We need to have like messaging for our young people. Someone said she might have fallen asleep at the wheel. I don't know, why she would have been tired. Folks, it happens. Sometimes you drive and you're tired or whatever. You can't drive if you're tired. Being tired is just as bad as being drunk in terms of your body's inability to handle a vehicle. So Cindy says that her brother, who called the police because he witnessed the accident, said that she wasn't speeding, more like she fell asleep at the wheel. Caymanians are too quick to chat on things that they know nothing about. Well, I can tell you that the police say that given the damage to the car, I don't know what your brother's definition of speeding would have been, and I don't know how he would determine really whether she was speeding or not, but the police do feel like there was some degree of speed involved for the degree of damage that vehicle has. This is just a matter of force, right? You cannot not be speeding and hit a vehicle and practically have the vehicle disintegrate. The front end was like unidentifiable, like I said, and not have some degree of speed involved. So it's difficult to say. So we'll wait until the official report comes out. No one is blaming anybody for this accident. Obviously, this was a single vehicular incident. There was nobody else involved. It's good that they have an eyewitness because obviously your brother can provide some, eyewitness testimony now, but he would not be the one who would be able to say whether she was speeding or not. That's going to be a matter for the police. And there are ways in which they can make that determination. It's just sad. And so, we don't need to have that conversation today about what the cause of this accident may or may not have been. We just want to extend our condolences to her family who, are experiencing a loss that nobody ever wants to experience. No one ever wants to have to bury their child. And like I said, by all accounts, such a beautiful young lady at that. It's yeah. It's very, very sad. So this was the initial footage that I had received. And I mean, I believe that this is one of those Honda Fit vehicles. But just unbelievable. I mean, this car is just wow. Unreal. Such a beautiful soul. Just we extend our condolences to obviously the Connor family, the Grisels. Apparently her mom is a Grisel. She's the youngest of like the Grisel siblings. And so I can only imagine as a mother what she must be feeling. I'm told she had 3 children. This was the youngest. You know, it's just really, really sad. No words really to help soothe this kind of a pain when someone is feeling it, but just unbelievable. It's a Honda Accord. Okay. Thanks, Cindy, for that. Jess says, I think it's a BMW. So Anthony, she's either 22 or 23. Her one of her uncles told me she was 22. Somebody else said 23, but she's either 22 or 23. Lavana says it's very sad. She is my daughter's friend, so young. My deepest condolences to her family. Good morning to Miss Donna. Miss Donna Bryan says, morning, Cayman, Miss Sandy. I was on the road this morning and came close to a bike rider using his phone while riding. Oh, gosh. Just saying a lot of people are using phones while driving. Happy 1st of May, everyone. And let us do our part to stay safe on the roads. Yeah, I mean, a bike rider as in a motorbike or just a cyclist, like a regular bicycle. I think that, you know, if we were to be honest, given the number of accidents that we have on our roadway, it's alarming. And we should all be concerned, folks, at what it is that we're seeing in Cayman. We are potentially on last year we had, I think it was 20, which was a record, 20 road fatalities. And now we are on the cusp of potentially breaking that record. Wow, that's crazy. Let's see if we can do something about that. Cindy says that she saw it being towed into the police traffic department Sunday morning. It's a Honda Accord. You know what, Cindy? That location, I went there Sunday early afternoon. All of those cars that you see there behind the traffic department. So this is right across from Jose's gas station, right? Across from the airport on the front end. All of those vehicles are from road fatalities. They're not just road accidents. They're only the ones that result in a death. And that lot is full. If you need any sort of reality check, that's it. The lot is full. It's unbelievable. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, quite honestly. But I do know that we are going to have to talk about some solutions here. You know, something is going to have to be done. Ah, boy. It's just unbelievable. All right. Let's move on. Again, our sincere condolences to the entire Grisel family, the Connors, Miss Juliana. and all of her friends and family. We got a call on the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, Sonny.
Yes, hi, morning.
All right. See, the accidents will never stop as long as the parties keep going. And I don't like to talk like it's on everybody's behalf that accidents are caused because of the partying and stuff. But there are a lot of people that don't take time in their sleep. So people keep staying awake long hours of the night because maybe they had long hours in the day that they didn't have for themselves. Being on the road at those times, sometimes it's not good. Don't have to be under the influence to be tired. So falling asleep on the road, I mean, look at what happened to John. You never know. Sleep depression is that thing. So yeah, sleeping on the wheel is a very dangerous thing. We don't hear about those things anymore. And
well, like I said,
think
research shows that falling
everyone-
asleep or being tired is just as bad as being intoxicated.
Exactly. So this is the thing. I used to drive all hours of the night as well, not for alcohol or any type of thing, because I used to work all hours of the night, different districts, and then come back home. And driving at certain hours of the night in no traffic at all, even if you have music, you get very bored. Very, very bored very quickly. And if you don't drive with a person like a passenger or something like that, that's the most dangerous thing you can do. You slide off of the side of the road, don't even know the split second you close your eye.
Yep.
It happened to me a couple of times. I was never under the influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody should just be very careful about the times that they come out and where they're going.
Definitely. All right, caller. Thanks very much. Without a doubt, folks, driving while tired is a real thing. I myself, sometimes last couple of trips I go to the States because, during COVID, none of us was really traveling. I had to have a bit of a backup plan because number one, I recognize that, okay, it's been a minute that I haven't driven in the States. So even driving an hour solid interstate driving and stuff like that, there was a couple times I stayed in Fort Lauderdale by Marlon's cousin, and I was back and forth between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. And I took somebody with me because I'm like, I don't feel comfortable driving basically 2 hours in the same day, kind of back to back, a lot of interstate driving and whatever. I wasn't sure if I was going to feel tired so I made a plan before I even hit the road to have someone with me so that they could do part of the leg of the trip. And then I could do, the other leg. At one point, my girlfriend Sue's husband was up there and I had to, beg him to come and drive with me. And I told Marlon, just as an FYI, so-and-so is going to help me drive the other leg of this trip because I feel like I'm going to get tired. And we just don't know. Right? So plan ahead. If we go out and, say, for example, Marlon says, okay, he might want to have 1 or 2 beers or whatever. He's not a big drinker. I'm like, okay, I'll be the designated driver. I'll be the plan B. Now, for the world of me, not related to this incident, I don't know if this young lady went to Capella or not. I don't think she did, but I don't know. I am always curious as to why event organizers don't have an option for people who are leaving venues, right? To have like a shuttle service. Listen, we are now, what year is this? 2023? When I was in university at USF back in the early and mid 90s, we had what was called Safe Ride, where within a certain mile radius of the university campus, any university student could call and they didn't have to be drunk or intoxicated or whatever. They could just call and say, I need a safe ride. Right? But it was aimed at trying to encourage people to always have an option. This was the days before Uber. Uber didn't exist. Right? University students are poor, so they didn't necessarily have a taxi service available to them. So you call Safe Ride, you say, hey, I'm at this bar, I'm at this location, just come and pick me up. And they would do group pickups and they would drop you off right at your apartment. And it worked extremely effective. Why don't, event organizers have something like that? You have Bada Banu, you have Jove, or whatever all these fets are that are coming up. People are going to be out there drinking. A lot of times they're not eating enough food to, really try to counteract some of the alcohol. And then those very same people are getting behind the wheel of a car. Not for nothing, but there was more than enough police presence at the Capella event. They were all there. Did they set up roadblocks after the event? Here's an idea. Call me crazy. But instead of even setting up a roadblock, why not do breathalyzer testing before you allow people to leave the venue? Now, I know y'all gonna be jumping up in arms. Oh, but Sandy, what about my human rights? Well, honey child, your human rights stop when you're potentially gonna take somebody's life on the road or even your own life. Make everybody blow before they leave the event. And hopefully most of them traveled with an actual designated driver. Because then the police could say, sir and madam, before we have to arrest you for a DUI because you're about to go and get behind the wheel of a car, you're in no condition. You're in no condition to get behind the wheel of a vehicle. Am I crazy? Talk to me, folks. I mean, does that not sound like it's a good idea? Right? Miss Darlene says that this is every parent's nightmare. Trust me, I can, oh my God, for sure. Live says that they should put them on display to remind people. And I actually said that to an officer on Sunday morning as well. I said, when I was doing driver's ed, again, this is all the way back in high school, way back in the day, one of the first things that they did in driver's ed, not one of the first things, the first thing they did was made us watch this video. Because back then, video, we sit down and watch a video. But we sat down and watched this video about what happens when you get in a road fatality. And you saw the mangled cars. It was this is a big responsibility, kids. You guys are about to get behind how many tons of steel and plastic and an engine and all this kind of stuff. You've got to be responsible. And I was scared to death after I saw that video. I was like, oh my God, both hands on the steering wheel, adjust my mirrors, be careful, because they really brought it home that heaven forbid you're in an accident. Imagine if the car is that mangled, what it does to your body. And you don't see cars in the morgue. You see people in the morgue. And this was a stark reality of what we were taught, trying to get a driver's license. Oh my gosh, I was so scared. The first time I got behind the wheel, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Oh, good morning, Miss Sharon. She says, good idea. But then again, it would be terrible for the families to see the constant reminder. This is one of those things where Cayman is small, but I even think, Sharon, that families should become part of the campaign, right? They're the ones who can talk about how horrific it is to lose a loved one. They should be going around talking to young people, talking to young drivers, talking to all drivers, and creating videos that we can put out there on social media where they're like, listen, this is what happens on the roadways. Please, please, please be careful. I just think that there is so much more that we can do when it comes to road safety. There has to be a constant road safety campaign, and I just don't see it happening. Private sector needs to collaborate with the police, with the National Roads Authority, and we really, really need to step up our safe driving. Police officers are saying, Sandy, we pick up someone who was speeding, right? They beg us for a second chance. Please don't give me a speeding ticket. I can't afford it. I'm a young person driving, blah, blah, blah. We give them a bly. And then the next week, the next day, who do we catch speeding again? And sometimes doing even more speeding. Wayne says, maybe she's wearing her seatbelt. We do know that unfortunately she was thrown from the vehicle, which indicates that there was no seatbelt being worn. Would she have survived it if she had her seatbelt on? I mean, nobody can say that. But of course, she wouldn't have been thrown from the car. So again, just basic things like that, making sure you're putting on your seatbelt, making sure that, I've been in a car before where I was tired, driving in the States, especially. And so I call someone so that I'm forced to talk to them. You roll down the windows, although sometimes if the breeze feels a little bit too good, that I can help you much rolling down the window. But I don't know. It's just hard. So it's just a tough situation. All right, let's move on. Tatum, Jan says, I saw the police refuse to help a drunk guy after Capella. He was so drunk he could not walk. He was in the car park looking for his car. A total stranger decided to take him home after begging the police to help him. He would have killed himself or someone else. Are you kidding me? So they see a guy who's so drunk in the parking lot, he couldn't even find his car, and they just walked away from him. I mean, that's the kind of thing now that I'll send to the police commissioner, because that don't make no sense. This is where I can't blame, and I saw a lot of questions, the comments online about the police and, this is the police's fault. Listen, we put a lot on the police that sometimes ain't got nothing to do with them. Road safety is more of an individual, you, me, and every road user. It's more of an individual responsibility. Okay? The police can't make you drive safe. They do everything within their power. They put the laws in place. The government has done, they've lowered the DUI because that's causing a lot of accidents. I suspect more things will come in terms of road safety from the government. They'll start finding us more if you're caught speeding and DUI, whatever, to discourage people from doing it. But ultimately, it comes down to the individual drivers. And if individual drivers are not being responsible, none of us are safe, right? So don't blame the police. They can't be driving behind you all the way home. Now, this is a situation, what Jan said, that is very, very alarming. And Jan, I could not have been there and seen that without getting, as Wayne said, his badge number. I would have taken a photo. I would have said something. I would have done something. But thankfully, as you say, Jan, someone else who was there decided to give this guy a ride home. And again, personal accountability, personal responsibility. If you're going to an event like Capella and you're going to be drinking, right? And you're going to be getting all sauced up, why would you go and drive by yourself? That is just the height of irresponsibility. How are you going to get home? What was your plan? A, B, C, D, E, and F. Because by the time you're drunk, you're not going to be in a position to make any sensible decisions. You already a hazard to everybody. Wow. It's just unbelievable. I don't know what to say, but we need to address it. And it's every single day we're just losing more and more, especially our young people, which is so sad, because on the one hand, if we're not losing them to gun violence on the streets, then we're losing them to vehicular accidents. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandra. I don't know if it's me. My time. Okay, yes, it's me. Valid point I heard you with this morning with the driver's license and the point. I remember even doing my license in Florida. You get points taken off, even if you do a illegal turn, whatever it is. Points taken off if you're in an accident. Just like you say, you will be set by the court to go within this room or whatever it is, and you will watch a whole entire day of that video. You cannot leave until you finish that to get over and to get back your license. There is requirements and things that even the RCIPS here need to. The law passed, but why it hasn't been enforced? Even cell phone, how many times even for the morning you're going past and it's going to like maybe say 85%. I said 75%. I'm not going to be too extravagant on the cell phone. And the cell phone is worse than alcohol because they're talking to somebody on the phone and your entire body language is like you're arguing with somebody in person, so to speak. So the point system, I think that needs to be enforced. 3 points taken off, your license is going to be revoked. You go to class, you need to do the whole process over. Or it depends on the accident or whatever happened. Suspend license. You don't need to be on the road. You survive the accident and you kill off somebody. It's just these things need to be look at, you know? And innocently you can go have a look of fun, you could drink, and while not knowing what's going to be happening because the drinking alone, that mess up your whole judgmental. You have no illustration, no mental thoughts of distance, speed. The whole judgmental is messed up.
Yes.
I think this need to look at though.
It's so sad.
Ticket system and you know, to be losing young ones like this, even old people or whatever, you know, it's sad, you know, to the family, to the cause, you know, no parents will know that they want to bury their kids.
Yes.
You know, it's just sad, but I'll leave it like that. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the call. Yes, folks, it's, you know, a difficult situation, for sure, for, anytime somebody loses a loved one. And, you know, sometimes freak accidents happen and it just changes people's lives forever. You know, there's no coming back from that, really. Wow. It's just really sad. So her mom is Miss Loretta Grizel and her dad is Channing's Connor, the little young lady. Her name is Shanna Connor. So rest in peace, young lady. All right. Mr. Cecil says, Sandy, death is no respecter of persons. This is why we need to love each and every one. Miss Anna Rose is here. Good morning to Miss Anna Rose. So nice to see you. She says, Sandy, it'd be really helpful, possibly save lives for sure, if NDC would extend their Purple Ribbon program to all major events such as Capella and not just for a once a year old year night. I think this is a fantastic idea. Someone else on Messenger was actually asking me if they still do the Purple Ribbon event for New Year's. I don't actually know. It's one of those things that they obviously need to advertise that it's available. But I agree, Miss Anna Rose, this should be something that, given the size of this island, yes, it couldn't be that hard to get island-wide coverage for a type of safe ride program. So whether it's going to be Purple Ribbon program or whatever, you know, the insurance companies, God knows that they have a vested interest in this. They could all come together and offer this as a regular and routine service. You know, we could even use existing buses when you think about it to help. You need a couple in the West Bay quadrant because there's a lot of bars and restaurants obviously in that area that could take someone from any bar, restaurant and take them home the West Bay quadrant. If people have to go elsewhere, you know, you can then route them to the Eastern districts and you'd have some buses kind of sitting in different locations waiting to take people home. There's solutions out there, I believe, that would work in reducing the number of road fatalities significantly. Last week, Wednesday, we were talking about the other young man who just lost his life trying to get to work on his motorbike. And someone in Jamaica sent me some footage of a road accident in Jamaica involving a taxi and some other car. Multiple people died. multiple people, bodies just strewn all over the roads and streets. And I was just like, oh my God, unbelievable to see the carnage. Jamaica has bigger roads. Some roads like Junction are a little bit like, whoo, you know, interesting to drive on, much more dangerous. Cayman, for the most part, has really good roads that are, you know, pretty straight. They're not crazy design-wise. And so I'm always at a loss for to know how some of these accidents even happen. So El Rey says, yes, they still do. I'm assuming that's about the purple ribbon. Damien says, how about the police painting their car purple like a ribbon? How's that going to help, Damien? I don't think we need to encourage the police to spend any more money on painting a car. Again, people need to take responsibility when they go out on the roadway. All right. Okay. Someone says, and this stupid thing about if the courts suspend your license, you just have to sign an affidavit saying that you can't find it needs to stop. If you don't present it to the courts, double the suspension time. Well, that's interesting because normally when you go to court, you have to hand in your license when they're taking your license from you. That I know for a fact. So you're saying that people show up to court, don't have their license, and then you sign an affidavit, but it would be in the system if that person's pulled over in any event that they had their license taken from them, even if they produce it. Someone else says that the point system is very good. It's what is used here in the UK. Okay. One person says Juve was this weekend gone. Oh, okay. Y'all bringing me up to speed. Badabanu is this weekend coming. And K-Mass is the first weekend in July. Okay. Well, y'all gonna be doing more than enough partying now. So we need to make sure that we're safe. This person says, I went to Juve, had my friend on standby if I needed assistance. When we go out, we always have one friend who's sober enough to take us home. Sober enough. All of us can't turn up on the same level. Well, at least it's a plan. But yes, I mean, try to make them try to be sober completely, not sober enough. Because remember now, everybody reacts differently to alcohol, honey child. So they might have only had a few drinks and they tell you they're sober enough, but morning caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sunday.
Morning,
it's Dexter here again.
Hi, Mr. Dexter.
In Canada, a friend of mine who was caught driving drunk, he was convicted and he lost his license, and then he had to pay for electronic instrument you connect to the car, and you cannot start that car until you blow into there to see if you have any alcohol in your system. And he said that he would never touch another. He would never touch another drink. Yeah, and that definitely works because you cannot start. If you turn off your car, you start your car and you go 20 feet and you turn it off. You got to blow into it.
Yeah.
And this was not provided by the courts or the government. This was provided by the guy who was convicted. It cost about, I don't know how much, $1,000 it was.
I mean, listen, in my opinion, the technology, if it's not available already, should be there where people, should start having to blow in a car to be able to turn it on. And if they blow over a certain limit, that car is going nowhere.
And he could not, that car would not start. He turned on the key, or before he turned on the key, he had to blow into this instrument, and then If it showed that he had no alcohol, then the car would start.
Mm-hmm.
We could start that system here, but the way the government would do, they would provide the instrument. No, if you're in there driving under the influence of alcohol, you pay for that instrument, and your license is suspended. And once he got his license back, he could drive anywhere, provided he blow into that instrument.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Sandy.
I appreciate
Keep up
it.
the good work.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Okay, bye.
John LaRue says, of course, an Uber style service would definitely help, but if we have to protect the poor taxi license holders, which is a joke as they overcharge, competition is what they need. I gather Flex failed. Who's Flex? I'm not sure, John, what that comment's about. Aliana says public transportation unit needs to reform the laws and get some of these buses to be available at certain times of the night. Damien says alcohol is the fourth biggest import into Cayman for duty and revenue. How many liquor stores and liquor licenses per capita? Well, more than enough. Let me be very, very clear. People enjoy a drink and they enjoy going out and having a good time. I guess this island must be stressful for y'all, because if it's stress while you're drinking, there's enough of it going on, or y'all just like to have a good time. I actually went out, speaking of drinking, I actually went out on Friday night. Our daughter had a little bit of a play date, so we got to do a mommy and daddy date night out. And we went to the Hive. Big shout out to Stefan over at the Hive. He is like the best waiter ever. And we hadn't been there yet, and I've been meaning to go check it out. So we went there. Really nice. Lots of people there for happy hour on Friday. And so I met this guy. He's like, I'm your biggest fan. Oh my God, I love you. And he had a friend visiting from overseas. So he said, oh, let's do a shot. Again, people drink to celebrate. They drink because they're upset. They drink when they're getting married. They drink when they're having a divorce. It's like everybody drinks. It's kind of like food. It's just a thing. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm not trying to be a party pooper, but I told you I don't really drink. So I was like, all right, get a shot then. And, I'm going to like sip it and then put it back down. Right. So they ordered a round of shots, and the waitress came, and they took it down. And of course, again, because I don't drink, I'm not going to take a shot of anything and get behind the wheel of a car, because y'all might be able to take a shot and still be totally functional. Me, on the other hand, I might start slurring my words after just one shot. So I took a little sip. It actually tasted really good. It was like a peanut butter flavored liqueur or something. I was like, this actually tastes really nice. But I took one sip and put it back down. The guy's like, oh my God, do you know how expensive these shots are? You can't waste it. I said, honey, you drink it for me. Hopefully you got a safe ride home. And he ended up drinking it. And that was it. Like, you don't have to feel, it's interesting because sometimes people feel like the peer pressure to, even drink. You don't have to feel pressure to do anything. All right. So John says Flex was the Uber style outfit that the Smith girl lawyer tried to start. I don't have no clue who that is. We need a proper taxi service that is reliable and affordable. All right, Damien. And that looks like it was in the day. What was in the day? Oh yeah, Sunday brunch is another one. Will people drink a lot? We've had some very unbelievable, and shocking, some unbelievable and shocking accidents over the years. Remember the one with the lady who got ran over? She worked at the Ritz-Carlton. This one has never been, we never heard anything more about this. Like, this just disappeared. And it always made me so uncomfortable. But she was one of the like salespeople at the Ritz-Carlton, and she got ran over by a coworker, I believe, at an apartment complex in West Bay. The story on the street is that she was, remind me of her name now. Somebody, oh gosh, what was her name? Hold on, let me tell you what her name is. Really pretty girl. She was like a big time manager at the Ritz. Anyway, she got ran over after going out for brunch by a co-worker, and she was killed in a parking lot. And so there were always questions around what happened to her and how did this happen? And, you know, I think this woman lawyered up really fast, one of those big time expensive lawyers, no doubt. And the whole thing just seems to have disappeared. I was like, wow, unbelievable. Never heard another word about what happened to that poor girl. Someone says, one time I went out with a friend and we buy a Pepsi and pour it on ice and sipping it like it was expensive. Jasmine. What was Jasmine's last name again? I think we did a story on poor Jasmine because it was just so many questions about how the accident even happened, how she got ran over. It was just weird. Hold on, let me see if I can find this story with Jasmine. I want to know whatever happened. Poor Jasmine. Let me see if I can find some details on that. Okay, here is another update really quickly. So we got some breaking news for you this morning as well. That's why y'all got to make sure you stay tuned to CMR because we're going to bring you all the news as and when it happens. So on Friday or Saturday, might have been Friday evening, Miss Cayman, Chloe, Doxy, the rest of her name. Can't remember the rest of her name. Powell. She was crowned. She was officially crowned until I think the next pageant is coming up in a couple months. The funny thing is, y'all know Tiffany's still up in her feelings about having the crown taken from her. So she posted on her page that it was earned, not given. This young lady is so immature. That was meant to be a dig at poor Chloe because someone is giving it to you. You didn't earn it. Actually, I'm going to make this as brief as possible. But if anybody earned it, it was actually Chloe. Because at least Chloe managed to stay out of trouble, which was more than we can say about Tiffany. And her crown should have never been, she should have never had the crown to begin with if it wasn't for the SLAT committee members who allowed her to slide right in. So I don't know what she meant by that, but it was meant to be a dig at poor Chloe. And to, again, she did it the day the day before Chloe was to be crowned. Someone said to me that Usain Bolt actually posted it. She's not even original. She actually took it from Usain's post where he had a picture of him and his thing, and it said earned, not given. So she doesn't even have a authentic and original bone in her body. She had to borrow that from him. Child, please go earn yourself the sentence that you're gonna be getting from. This is him saying, I'll show you guys this picture. This is Hussein saying earned, not given. You got to earn that sentence you get from the judge here shortly. That's what you definitely earned. Mm-hmm. The other shocker with the pageant, and I'm sick and tired of talking about this pageant, we will have the sentencing of Tiffany, and then that, folks, is going to be it. I don't want to hear that girl's name anymore. She just needs to go away and drop off into oblivion and just, try to sort out her life, get some professional assistance. But come to find out, some people saw the crowning and they're like, wait a minute, where is the Grizel young lady, Haley? Because she was like the second runner-up, so now she'd be the first runner-up because everybody's like moving up the ranks, right? Well, what we didn't know, and I tell y'all from day one, that committee has always been, Haley resigned in December and they kept it hush-hush the entire time. So Haley Grizel gave up her second runner-up position. She no longer wanted anything to do with the pageant. said, I'm resigning, don't want it, whatever, moving on with my life. Back in December. And the Miss Cayman committee kept it hush hush and never said a word, because of course we know that committee members were dropping like flies. And to then hear that the pageant, like at least one pageant queen had enough sense to drop out, would continue to make them look bad, and they didn't want to add that to the ongoing discourse that was being had. So yeah, she dropped out, and that's why she is not standing next to Tiffany to Chloe now. So they gave it to the young lady. I can't remember her first name, but she's a Foster or something. What a hot mess situation, not getting any better. So Miss Morning says, Sandy, it is very stressful here, but the drinking part, I'm out, been there and done that. So you're drunk enough in your day already, huh? And I'm pretty sure the drinking doesn't solve much of anything. So here's the young lady that I was telling you guys about. She was the Ritz-Carlton Cayman Director of Sales. And again, this was October of 2020. Nothing, we've never heard anything come of this. But she was ran over by a friend after being out for brunch with the friend earlier in the day. Just sad situation. 31 years old, Jasmine James, Director of Sales at the Ritz-Carlton, was killed in a parking lot at her apartment complex in West Bay. Some freaky things have happened around here, let me tell you. There she is, really pretty young lady as well. And there she is with Anthony Bourdain when he was alive. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hi, morning, caller.
Good morning. How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
I missed you for 2 weeks.
Oh, did you go away?
I am away.
Oh,
I'm in the
okay.
Philippines.
Oh, you're living your best life. Hopefully you're not picking up a new wife.
No, my. Guess what? Each time they see me, they say, "Oh, you can't get another one because you have one already."
Well, you did hear me say a new one.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
It's tiring.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I come, I can give you some jokes.
Okay.
Can you imagine after paying over $2,000 for your fare, and the flight attendant looked at me and said, "Would you like some Prestels?" I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, I don't eat those things." I've never eaten it in my life. You paid over $2,000 for your fare to stand on a plane, and someone asked you if you want press. I can't even call it Prestels. And 7-Up. I don't drink 7-Up, and I don't eat Prestels. I can't even call it. I said, "No, ma'am, I don't eat those things."
Yes.
No. On Qatar, they give you good cooked meal. But American airline is nonsense.
All right.
Now the flight from Cayman to Texas was real poor, but from Texas to Qatar was not too bad, but from Qatar to Doha was real good, nice cooked meal. But I'm enjoying myself. It's real nice.
All right, sounds good.
Qatar is one nice place, beautiful.
Yes, very nice.
But I didn't get a chance to call before I leave. But I went on an accident construction conference in Orlando. Learn some new stuff. Learn some new stuff about accidents. I'll share with you when I come back.
Okay, sounds good.
You'll be amazed.
Very good.
Anyway, talk to you.
All right, my dear. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Okay, you too. All right, safe travels. Yes, sir.
It's now night here.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes. All right, dear. Take care.
Okay, bye. Yes, bye.
All All right, calling us all the way from the Philippines, folks. You know, we got listeners all over the place. Yes, Cece, her friend ran her over. They said it was an accident, but again, it was one of those situations where they were at brunch, and of course, questions are being asked about, who was drinking what and how did it really happen. Anthony is saying, was Capella a success? I mean, I think so. Everybody was really, really enjoying themselves. They had some good performers. Kes, is that his name? Kes? He was there, and he's always a crowd pleaser and really gets people up and going. There were some comments about the local bands being shortchanged a little bit because the event actually started late. These are things that the organizers really have to iron out, I think, going forward, because obviously it's an opportunity for local talent to be showcased. And of course, we want to ensure that they get an opportunity to show their stage presence. We had Danny Ebanks, who's going to be performing, Rico, Leanne Rhymes performed earlier. I didn't get to see her performance because I didn't get there that early. She was earlier in the lineup. But yeah, someone said that it started like maybe 2 or 3 hours late. And so some of the local performers had to have their performance list cut down. And then some were not able to perform at all. I had a mother stop me and her son was due to perform. And she's like, listen, do you know how much work it takes for him to put his, performance list together and all this preparation? And then he was cut because they started late. So, I think that at the end of the day, there will be, some feedback that the performers will receive that hopefully will be helpful to them. All right, so we got some breaking news for you this morning. Let's take another commercial break. Tell your friends to tune in right now. They're going to want to hear this one. This is interesting. It's coming, honey, chill.
Get your taste buds ready because Taste of Cayman is back. Join us May 13th at Festival Green, Camana Bay. Eat, drink, and dance the night away. Taste of Cayman offers the very best of Cayman's food and drink scene with plenty of music to keep the party going. Get your festival tickets online today at tasteofcayman.org or call 623-6700. Brought to you by the Cayman Islands Tourism Association and sponsored by AI Rentals, Camana Bay, DMS Broadcasting, and numerous valued partners.
Are you tired of overpaying for TV services? Can't figure out VPNs? Constantly missing your favorite TV shows? And no access to the good stuff on streaming services? The frustration is real, but it doesn't have to be. Contact Roque, Cayman's streaming pros. We'll put you back in the driver's seat in front of your TV. Call, WhatsApp, or message Roque today on 926-1213. Roque is not a TV service provider. Terms and conditions apply.
The Cold Hard Truth is Cayman's #1 talk show since it debuted in March 2020. According to independent research, we are the most listened to talk show in 2021, and most people prefer us to any other options on island. We tackle tough issues some days, and other times have fun and lighthearted discussions. But most importantly, the Cold Hard Truth is here for you. Thank you for your support as we continue to be the voice of the people in 2022 and beyond.
All righty. So here's some breaking news. We're going to break it down for you this morning. All right, everybody sitting down. I think our last caller will find this especially interesting. Okay, here's what we got for you. The Premier has announced this morning to assist with alleviating traffic and to increase road safety, effective today. Well, we got no warning on this one. May the the first, the import of a vehicle whose model year is 8 years or older is prohibited. So no more older cars. There's a list of exceptions, which includes some of the like backhoes, bulldozers, like more of the heavy equipment vehicles. And there is a grandfather transition, which basically is going to say that if you are already purchasing a vehicle. So say you've already purchased it as of today's date, then you can show evidence of that purchase. So before the date of commencement of this amending order, a person entered into an agreement to purchase or purchase the vehicle whose model year is 8 years or older with the intention of importing it, so they'll get an exemption. So that's pretty interesting. So there you go, folks. Bit of breaking news here this morning. And we'll post this up on the website shortly. I think Ms. Renee is going to go ahead and work on getting this up for you guys to be able to read all of the details on the website. All right. So speaking of this, let me say this. Hold on one second. Let me just verify something here. Let me just say this. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Yes, sir.
The banning of the older cars isn't going to fix the traffic problems.
Well, I mean,
it just avoids the conversation where politicians have failed for the past 40 or 50 years to provide adequate infrastructure to accommodate the development. And it's also going to make transportation more expensive. Remember when Kenneth Ryan came on your show and he said that they were going to look at ways in which they were going to tax private transportation in order to encourage people to take the bus. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
This is part of what's happening. They're going to make private transportation less affordable to the general public, and as a result, force people towards the bus. They will come with more, but just remember, this doesn't solve the problem. Their failure for the past 40 years is the reason why we're in this situation. You know who it was? I think it was, if my memory serves me well, I think it was Gilbert McLean who proposed the extension to the east-west arterial. You know how long it took the government to begin to build a road after that proposal was accepted? 17 years. Okay? That is the kind of incompetence that has led us to where we are today. That's the conversation that politicians don't want to talk about. So they distract the public by doing the measures that they're doing here today. What they need to be doing is coming up with a plan as to how we will catch up with that infrastructure development. The road.
Having said that, Denny, let me take you on here for just a second. You have to admit that the solution will not be a singular solution, correct? It's going to take more than one thing. So it's going to take more than the building of a road that's now 25 years behind. It's going to take more than stopping or slowing down the importation of vehicles. But we have, information here from 2020, 2021, and 2022 that shows that a good portion, some 43% in 2020 of all vehicles that were imported into this island was 7 to 10 years. Vehicles 11 to 20 years old, 32%.
And
so if you slow down the importation of those older vehicles, which are more affordable for people, do you not think that that's going to have an impact on the number of vehicles on our roads in a much more immediate way? It goes into effect today, as opposed to a road which won't even be started for at least another year plus?
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a demonstration of the incompetence that I'm talking about. Tell me, if banning cars that are of a certain age And in other words, what the government is addressing is whether someone can afford to buy a car. Because remember when Kenneth came on your show, he said that they were looking at ways in which they could address encouraging people to move to public transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have the public transportation for people to move to?
There's some there, but we all agree. We all agree that it's not
public transportation for them to move to.
We all agree that that's going to need some work. But again, that's not something that's going to happen overnight.
Exactly. And which is
so you do nothing in the interim?
No. What you do is you address the issues by, if you want to put public transportation in place, you put it in place. What Kenneth said when he came on your show was that they were going to look for ways to financially penalize me and you for driving private transportation, to encourage me and you to take the bus. And one of my questions to him at the time, you can go back and look at it, I said, well, will I be able to take my gun on the bus? He still hasn't answered me. And there are plenty of issues they don't have resolved. And I'm saying to you that this is the kind of backward thinking that has plagued us forever.
All right. Well, the government's trying to do something. When they do nothing, you say they haven't done anything for 40 years.
No. Nonsense. What we need to do is we need to provide the infrastructure. All right? Not just the east-west arterial should be done, but we need to deal with the choke points, which is one of the major choke points is right there by Hurley's. Okay? I don't believe that it's a solution to take and build a back road that takes and shuttles a number of cars in the Red Bay area to the King's Roundabout. That's not a bypass. That's just moving the choke point down the road a little more. If you had more, what you need, right? Here's the problem. If you zoom out, big picture, Cayman isn't the in that you have, like you'd have major cities and people work in those major cities. To some extent, that will be the case. But mostly speaking, for us, no. Here's the reason why. Because a lot of the people who live on the eastern side of the island work on this side of the island. For example, the financial industry is unlikely to move east. So if people are going to be able to afford homes, it's probably going to be on lesser expensive land, which means it's going to be on the other side of the island. Which means that you need to shuttle people from their homes to work. You can do that in a number of ways. Public transportation is one of them, but you have to have that in place before you start trying to drive up the cost of people's private transportation. And what you also need to do is you need to separate traffic. Because there's traffic that is going south of Georgetown proper. There's traffic that's going Georgetown proper. And there's traffic that's coming from the east that's going north of Georgetown proper. You need to separate that traffic. Part of the reason why busing will be challenged is the lack of sufficient secondary roads, which should have been done a long time ago. But there's a mentality in Cayman where everybody wants to have their own exclusive neighborhood. They don't want you driving through their neighborhood. So what that means is we all have to line up on one road and sit in a traffic jam because we don't want to separate the traffic.
All right, we do have another caller.
This is not just about criticizing the government. This is about pointing us in a direction that we ought to have gone many years ago, and we need to go instead of this backward way of doing things. But there's a reason why they're doing it. They don't want you to have transportation. By the time most people realize what's really going on, it'll be too late.
All right. Thank you, sir. Another call on the line. Good morning, caller, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you today?
Morning. Not bad. How are you?
Thankful, very grateful. Sandra, do you know what time are they going to try to open our mental facility?
I think it's close. It should be happening in the next couple months.
Well, I'm trying to understand the whole back on this, because from last year it was going to open in June, then again in November, then again this year in March, and it's still not opened. We need to have that open as soon as possible. And I hope what they're saying is right about the next couple of months. It should be like next week. We have all of these mental people walking the streets. They haven't had a bath in God knows when. A lot of them is mental from drugs. A lot of them are mental through sickness. They're begging. Some supermarkets
Just keep an eye on the time for me, because the show does end in another minute.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Sandra. in fact, I was listening. I said, but I need to call her about this. But anyway, I know that when it's get near opening, you would know about it, and would you kindly broadcast that, because it's ridiculous to know that these people are human beings, and nothing is done. Nobody questions it. Why these people are not in this mental institute? You don't need to get a garden and everything all ready so they can open the thing and get treatment for these people. Good morning, Sandra, and thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate it. So quite a few people in the comment section saying that the issue is overpopulation, and when is that going to be addressed? I mean, you need to talk to Cayman business owners, who are the ones who are hiring and putting people on work permits, and see what they say about the reduction of people on this island. Reduction meaning they're not going to have workers available to them for their businesses. I hear what you guys are saying about overpopulation, but I don't know that anyone has ever said that Cayman has an overpopulation issue. If people are here working for companies, and they're legitimate companies, and they're putting these people to work, how can you say that there's an overpopulation issue? There's not overpopulation issue because of land mass. There's tons of land mass in Cayman that is wide open and available. What we have done is we have concentrated development in one or two critical areas and not beyond that. And of course, that needs to, you've got to open up. That's another reason when people say, oh, well, this road is going to open up all of this development, along from the outer districts in. And why would that be a bad thing? Why is opening up a new area, a new path of development considered to be a bad thing? I'm not really quite sure that I understand it. Damien says work permit fees is big revenue. And once again, that's being driven by Caymanian companies. So you're going to say to business owners that they can't have the workers that they need and they must shut down their businesses? Ms. Brenda says there's an overpopulation problem. People come and never leave. Well, we can certainly get some numbers to see how many are leaving and how many are coming. How transient the population is. We've always had a pretty transient population. But, You got to talk to, Caymanians represent a very broad cross section of individuals. And a lot of Caymanians are business owners. So there you have it. All right, folks, we'll pick up the conversation tomorrow. We've got lots more to talk about. There's a couple things that happened in Parliament last week that I think need some clarification. We're going to spend some time on those. I actually wanted to review some of the documentation and the actual audio from the different segments. Denny, you got to make it quick because I've got an 11 o'clock appointment in Northside today.
When you listen to the government's SBS statement, they're budgeting a 9.9% debt financing. Do you think they will really be able to do that responsibly without violating that 10% limit? I bet you, Sandra, one monopoly dollar that on May 3rd, the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates again. And I'm suggesting to you that the turmoil that is likely to happen between now and the next election is not going to be pretty. I'm not talking about just Cayman, I'm talking about globally and how it will impact.
Well, we see it. We see another bank, Republic Bank, this morning in the U.S. Taken over by J.P. Morgan. They put in a bid. The Feds basically, the Federal Reserve, I think it would be, took control of that situation and sold it to the highest bidder.
And so when people talk about population, you're right. We're not overpopulated at this moment. That's correct. The reason we're feeling the pinch that we feel is because politicians fail to provide adequate infrastructure to accommodate the growth that has already occurred. So you're right about that. We're not overpopulated, but population is something that needs to be in the forefront of politicians' mind about future development. And what we're not doing is we're not looking forward. And I asked the Premier on your program about whether we have a number on the carrying capacity for Cayman, and he said we don't keep track of that. I find that amazing, because if you're going to make a statement about how we have too much of this or too much of that, too much compared to what? When you say too much, you have to be comparing it to something.
Right.
And I agree with you that we're not there, but we need to know what would be too much, what would tip us in other words, a simpler way to look at it is, do we want our infrastructure to be like Japan, where the buildings are scraping heaven's door? Or do we want to be like Hawaii? What do we want Cayman to ultimately look like? And do we want, and what is our plan to accommodate what we think the growth could be? Because you see, the reason why we have to pay what we're paying now to build roads is because politicians fail to look forward and plan properly for the infrastructure. Okay, these are the issues that need to be addressed. Now, that just the future planning, no, isn't going to solve our immediate problem, but neither is banning 9-year or 7-year-old cars. It's not going to do it.
All righty. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Folks, thank you as always for tuning in. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 7:30. Health City is up first. And then after that, we'll go into some open mic opportunity and we'll try to flush it out. Stay tuned.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.